Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto hates his mother fairy tale. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Azure King and Azure Queen and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. It was a cold evening. The sky was gloomy gray, and it was raining heavily. A young boy, no older than 12 years old, was looking through the window of his room at the depressing weather. The boy has short blonde hair that was a bit on the spiky side, soft lightly tanned skin and sea blue eyes. He was dressed in average clothes that consist of a gray short-sleeved t-shirt and dark shorts. He was sitting on his bed and holding his legs close to his chest. Why do I have to suffer like this? One might wonder, why does a young child have such depressing thoughts? If one took a closer look at him, they would immediately understand. His face was covered in small bruises and at some places it was swollen up. His eyes were red and puffy from crying with few tears still running down his cheeks. This boy's name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, and since the day he took his first steps his life has been a living hell. You see, Naruto was born in family that was purely made out of kunoichi and naturally, he sticks out like a sore thumb. But then a question arises, how can his family consist purely out of kunoichi? The answer is simple. Naruto is the first boy in elemental nations to be born from a union between two kunoichi, Minako Namikaze and Kusha Uzumaki. His mothers are the very first kunoichi in the world who openly expressed their love for one another, and they are what one might call lesbians. Minako Namikaze is Konoha's very first female Hokage who earned the title the Yellow Flash during the Third Ninja War, and is the fastest kunoichi alive to this date. Her legendary skills are also matched by her legendary beauty. She has shoulder-length blonde that goes straight with some spikiness in it, sky blue eyes that you can easily get lost in, an hourglass figure with D-cup breasts, a face that looks like it was sculptured by the goddess herself, and beautiful pink lips. Her lover, Kusha Uzumaki, was quite a legend herself. Because of her masterful sealing arts and sword skills she was given the title the Red Death during the Third Ninja War. She has a slender, feminine build, fair skin, D-cup breasts, beautiful violet eyes, fiery red hair with strands that frame both sides of her face, and a black clip that parts her hair to the left, keeping it out of her eyes. Kushina also had one very deep secret that only few knew. She used to be a Jinchuriki of the mighty nine-tailed fox, Kyubi. 19 years ago, after Minako was declared as the fourth Hokage, the very same day she, in front of the gathered villagers and ninja, confessed her love for Kushina, who at first was shocked but quickly returned those feelings. Of course, there were quite a few people angry at such proclamation, believing that it is a sick relationship and that both of them should find a good man instead. Needless to say, these people were quickly and painfully disposed of. But their love still had to face the obstacle in the form of Konoha's council. A lot of civilian councilmen along with the Uchiha clan head, Fugaku, stated that their relationship is impossible. But they were quickly put into their places when the rest of the clan heads, including the two elder advisors, reminded them that Konoha always respects one's life's decisions and that there isn't a law that forbids love between two females. Not wanting to back down, Fugaku called out on the child problem. He angrily stated that two women can have a child together, but even this argument was put down when Minako announced that she invented a special seal that would allow her to temporarily gain completely functional male genitals. After that, no one had anything to say, and the very next day the two women were wed by Hiruzen. The fantasies of the two beautiful women having sex on their wedding night left many men with massive nosebleeds. After a week passed, Tsunade, Konoha's most skilled doctor, announced that Kushina is pregnant. 9 months later, two perfectly healthy baby girls, Ruka and Kid, were born. They were the living proofs that a union between the two females is possible, and any leftover objections faded away. Since that day there was no longer any protest on Minako's and Kushina's relationship. 2 years had passed by and the two more girls, Suki and Suri, were born. Everything seemed to go well with the all-female family until 5 years later a boy was born. There were many shocked people, and some instantly believed the child to be an abomination and should be either killed or put into an orphanage. Minako quickly shot down those proposals, stating that just because Naruto was a male born from two females doesn't mean he's a freak of nature. After an examination, Tsunade confirmed that the boy was perfectly healthy and had no problems whatsoever with his body. Both mothers were overjoyed with their child and named him Naruto, promising a life filled with nothing but happiness. How he wished that was true. The first year of Naruto's life was normal. He was loved and taken care of properly, that is until his younger twin sisters, Miyuki and Shiki, were born and the day the great Kyubi attacked. A mysterious man appeared at chamber where Kushina gave birth to the twin girls and took one of them as a hostage. Minako managed to save the child, but in doing so the mysterious man kidnapped Kushina and released the Kyubi. While the beast was destroying Konoha, Minako confronted the mysterious man and managed to defeat him, but before she could capture him, he escaped. Minako then quickly returned to her village and was prepared to seal away Kyubi at the cost of her life, but before she could go through with it, she was knocked out by the previous Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. He took Minako's newborn daughters and sealed the Kyubi into the two girls by splitting the fox into two halves, yin and yang chakra. When the next day Minako woke up, it was to the sight of her whole gathered family. She was told of Hiruzen's sacrifice, and while she was sad at his passing, she was glad that he gave her the chance to live happily with her family. It seemed things were really starting to look up except for Naruto. Naruto's journey to a life full of misery started out slowly. At first, it began with neglect as all of the attention was given to Konoha's twin heroes who hold Kyubi imprisoned. They were showered with gifts and praises while Naruto was pushed into a corner like a simple bug not worth mentioning. Then the physical labor began. As Naruto grew into a 6-year-old boy, he was now smart enough to talk and to take care of himself a little. He begged almost every day for his mother's and sister's attention so much that they finally had enough. They stated that if he wants their attention so badly, then he must earn it. Naruto asked if they wanted him to become a powerful ninja just like them, and the answer he received was a slap to the face by Minako. She yelled out that he mustn't ever dare to mention that again. Her family is now known for being a powerful all-kunoichi family, and she wants it to keep it that way. She said that if he truly wants them to pay him attention, then he must from now on take care of the household chores, all of them. Wanting to please his family, Naruto did as he was told. But of course, being only a 6-year-old boy, there was only so much he could do, and that often led to him doing mistakes during his work, which in turn led to another part of his life suffering physical abuse. Whenever Naruto made a mistake or failed to do something at all, he was punished harshly. It began from simple slaps, then to kicks, then to punches. Even the tiniest mistake resulted in pain, and sometimes, when they were truly angry, they would lock him up in the house basement for a whole day. During that time he would be given nothing to eat and only allowed to drink water. This continued until Naruto reached the age of 10, and as he grew older, so did grew his family's other needs. A very distinguishing thing about him is that he is an incredibly cute and handsome boy, something his family members often take advantage of. His final circle of despair is sexual abuse. It began when one day Minako returned from a council meeting incredibly frustrated. She was mumbling something about the Uchiha clan head being a pain in the ass. Normally when she was frustrated, Kushina would be there to relieve her of it, but since nobody was at home that day except for Naruto and her, he became her frustration's outlet. She grabbed him harshly by his hair, dragged him into her bedroom and threw him on the bed. Then she started touching and licking him at inappropriate places. He didn't really understand what she was doing, only that it was wrong, painful, and he didn't like it one bit. He tried crying and begging for her to stop, but she would just slap him to shut him up or ignored him completely. At times she would even abuse him more fiercely when he begged. After that day a chain reaction was started as Kushina and his 4 older sisters also began using him as their frustrations outlet. A year later his younger twin sisters joined in as well. A final question one might ask is, why wasn't anybody helping him? Why was such abuse even allowed? The answer once again is simple: no one knew. The villagers and ninja of Konoha are told nothing of what is happening at the Uzumaki Namike's family home. Whenever someone visited the family, Naruto would be locked up in his room and they would say that he is sick, or if someone does meet him, he is forced to lie about his injuries. So currently Naruto is trying to rest a little since he already completed his chores for the day. House was gleaming like a diamond and all of the meals have been prepared. He just hopes that day will end with nothing bad happening to him. He is about to lay down on his bed until his room's door is kicked open by an angry Ruka. She is a very beautiful girl with a matured hourglass body. She has a unique set of deep red eyes that are only matched by her equally deep red, long hair. Think of Inner Mocha from Rosario plus Vampire. Damn bastards, can't take no for answer until you literally beat it into them, she mumbles angrily to herself as she forcefully closes the door behind her. She takes a seat in Naruto's desk chair, sticks out her bare feet to him and speaks in a commanding voice, "Do it." Naruto looks at her feet and slowly crawls towards them before stopping and retreating back to the window. Ruka, and maybe WECC cannot do this tea today? He says in a very stuttering voice. I did all of the sea chores today and meals are. He was not able to finish the sentence as Ruka grabs him by the throat and throws him into the wall behind her. Naruto hits the wall painfully and falls to the floor. He then feels intense pressure being applied to his head. He opens his eyes and sees Ruka's foot placed on his head while she glares at him with almost pure murder in her eyes. Did you just try to refuse my order? I must be hearing things, as I could have sworn that you just did. She said with a voice so cold that would make winter seem warm. And then no. I'm sorry. I'll do anything you ask, just please don't hurt me. Naruto begs with tears streaming out of his eyes. At first he becomes relieved when he feels the foot being removed, but then he starts vomiting and holds his stomach in pain as Ruka just kicked him there hard. You useless waste of space. You should be grateful that I even allow you to touch me. Yet you dare to. Honey, could you come downstairs? Minako and I want to talk a little about your recent promotion. Kushina's voice could be heard from downstairs. TCH, you got lucky, you worm. But this is far from over. Ruka turns around and walks out of the room. She gives him one final angry glance before closing the door behind her. Naruto painfully crawls over to his bed and lays down as gently as he can. He then covers himself with the bed's blankets. Why can't I have happiness? I can't take this anymore, were Naruto's final whispered words before he cries himself to sleep. The next morning, Naruto was instantly woken up to Minako pulling his hair. Mother, what are you doing? He yells in pain as his mother throws him on her bed. She strips off her clothes and Naruto saw his mother completely naked with a predatory smirk on her face. It's just you and me today. Kushina has to visit her cousin Mei and your sisters are either on missions or at school. I have the whole day free to myself. I need some release from rejecting all of those stupid clan males this morning, and you're gonna give it to me. Naruto starts shivering as unrestrained tears roll down his cheeks. The day he dreaded the most has finally arrived. He was going to be raped by his own mother. His family up until now only just molested him, and would just force him to make them climax, but now he prayed to all of the gods out there to let him escape this. He doesn't want this. Minako starts to lick his neck and then bit down on it hard enough to draw some blood. Mother, please stop. He shouts while pushing her head away from him. Minako growls and she punches Naruto in the stomach. You ungrateful little brat. I put a roof over your head and feed you. I even let you enjoy my body and this is the thanks I get. She then smiles sadistically. It's not like anyone would ever want you. You can only be loved by this family. Now do your job properly and I might let you enjoy this as well. She finishes the sentence and licks her lips. Naruto at this point is now completely terrified. No. Minako gains a confused look. What? In a low but terrified voice Naruto begs his mother, please don't do this, please. I just want to have a normal family. A family that shares happiness with me every day. A family that praises me when I do something right and comforts me when I'm scared. Please, I just want my mother to love me normally, like a true mother would, please. Minako looks shocked for a moment before her eyes are overshadowed by her hair. Naruto's hopes rise a little, believing that maybe, just maybe, his words were able to get through his mother, but they were instantly shattered when she slaps his face while looking at him with an amused expression. Oh, do you now? So the love I give you is not good enough? Maybe it's about time I fully educated you in manners. Yes, I will make sure that you will never protest ever again, she said seductively. This can't be happening. Isn't anyone going to stop this? Please, someone save me. Naruto thinks desperately but knows no one will help. He can't let this happen, he can't let her do this him. He starts looking around the room for something that could help getting her off him, anything. He notices a lamp placed on the nightstand that is within his arm's reach. Minako was too engrossed in her own lust that she didn't notice a lamp colliding with her head. Crash. Ah. Minako fell off her bed and held her head in pain, feeling a little blood trickle down her forehead. She quickly recovers and stands up. She looks at her bed and sees Naruto missing. She then hears someone running down the hallway. You just made a big mistake, you brat, one that you will be paying off for the rest of your life. She grabs a bathrobe from her closet, puts it on and starts chasing after him. Naruto quickly runs into his room and locks the door. He then pushes his desk to block it in case Minako had a spare key. He jumps on his bed and holds his legs close to his chest while rocking back and forth, scared beyond belief. He has defied his mother, and the retribution for it will be severe. Loud banging and shouting could be heard from behind the door, and he knows that he has only little time left before she forces her way into the room. There must be a way to escape, anything please. I just want escape. Naruto didn't have time to react as blood-red runes suddenly appeared in midair, and with a flash of red he disappeared from the room, leaving only a broken window and blood stains on his bed behind. Minako broke down the door and is greeted by the sight of a shattered window and Naruto's bed covered in blood stains. And then Naruto? Honey? All of her anger was quickly forgotten and her voice was wavering from the mere thought of her son being dead or worse, being kidnapped. Okay, why you made your P-point? I promise I will stop touching you, Naruto? Ka-sama? Minako looks behind her to see her daughters walk into the room as well. What happened here? Where is Naruto? Minako's eyes are suddenly flooded with tears. Naruto, she falls to her knees crying, not being able to complete that sentence. Unknown area. Ellie was a young woman wearing a short-sleeved shirt and jean shorts. She also had 2 unique tonfas strapped on her belt. Well, I was thinking maybe in a few months. By the way, Julia, how's his leg holding up after that battle with that little boy with the pink eyes? Julia was a mature woman wearing an outfit similar to the ones female wrestlers wear but in orange color. He's fine, but who knew that brat could turn into a huge turtle? I wish that we didn't have to retreat, but we were severely outsized by that thing. Ellie giggles while nodding. Yeah, that was bad, and Musica sigh, oh my god. She quickly runs forward towards a bleeding child that was laying on the side of the road. Julia, we need to find Haru now. Don't have to tell me twice. Later. Naruto slowly starts to open his eyes. Where am I? Julia! He woke up. He hears a female's voice and turns his head slightly to the right. In his field of vision, he saw Ellie and Julia. Wow, he's kinda cute. Reminds me of Let when we were younger. Hey kid, are you okay? We hhhhhhh. The two women jumped back, startled from the boy's sudden screaming. Despite being heavily bandaged, the boy began to crawl away from them but was quickly picked up by a spiky brown-haired male wearing a robe. Julia, what did you do? This kid is scared near to death. I swear I didn't do anything. The boy just started screaming when me and Ellie tried to talk to him. Julia sees the boy quivering in fear. What the hey kid are? Julia tries to reach out and comfort him, but he flinches away from her hand. Please, he begs quietly. Let walks over to Julia and shook his head. Julia, I think he has a fear of women. Let me and the rest of guys talk to him, he suggests. Fine, just tell me if the kid is alright, she requested. Let nods and calls into two other males into the room. He then turns around and smiles at the scared boy. Hey there, kid. My name is Let Dahaka. He then points at a silver-haired young man who has a broadsword strapped on his back. This is Haru Glory. He then points at dark-haired man who had a calm smile on his face. And this is Hamrio Musica. Naruto sits on the ground and holds his legs close to his chest. Few minutes pass before he begins to speak in a voice barely above whisper. Naruto, he didn't use the last names those monsters had. Haru nods and sits down on the ground as well so he would be on the same eye level as the boy. My fiancé found you hurt very badly by the side of the road. Can you tell us what happened? Naruto shook his head. Musica places a hand on Naruto's shoulder. You know, kid, we're heroes and we won't let a child cry, not when we can help to prevent it. Naruto looks at the three men and then, hesitantly, at the women. Few minutes pass as he contemplates if he should trust them. Guys, I wish you can help with carry the water, a young female said walking up the group. She had short blonde hair that gave a tomboy appeal. She wore a blue dress, almost something from a church attire. She stopped when her gaze hit Naruto. Ah. Naruto's eyes widen as he saw the girl as well. Her eyes meet his and something was odd. His chest was warm and oddly safe. Ah. Oh my gosh! What happened? She gasped, running over to the boy. Look at these wounds, they're terrible, she said, feeling saddened that such a young boy would be hurt this way. Hey Luca, the kid is Julia started but stopped as the blonde hand was took into hers. He looked adorable shy as he kept looking down with a bright blush. Huh? You poor thing. What happened to you? Luca asked Naruto. Naruto mumbled. I don't know if I should tell you. Luca nodded, smiling sweetly. It's fine, my father always told me that sometimes it's better to not speak it, she said kindly as her hands glow white. Stay still. Oh Lord, I pray to thee. Heal the wounds of this young boy who has suffered greatly. Luca prayed. The young male eyes widened as the bite marks that his mother gave him faded. His skin was more healthy, and lastly he felt more alive. What did you do? I healed you. Luca smiled sweetly. It comes in handy when used right, unlike some people who think otherwise, she said, glaring at the other males who flinched. What did we do? They yelled comically. He 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 ha 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 ha. Naruto laughed. Luca also giggled, covering her mouth with her hand. Naruto-kun? Please, what happened? I know what I just said, but I want to help truly. Please, kid, we're heroes, we can protect ya. The man in the green robes declared with a small smile as he moved Luca slightly, who pouted. Naruto thought about it for a moment. So far they haven't given any reason not to. They found him hurt and brought him here to nurse him back to health, not like I can survive on my own anyways. I never really was outside of the house before, so I have no idea where I am, but I can't. Just his eyes widen as he felt the young girl's hand on his. Seeing a female kind and hopeful smile made him feel hope for the first time in his whole life. It started about 6 years ago. And so Naruto explained them his life of suffering up to now. The three males stood there and listened to the whole story without interrupting him even once, except on some occasions showing disgusted and green faces. Then I felt a sudden surge of energy and everything went dark. Then I woke up here. He didn't leave out anything in his explanation and didn't sugarcoat any of it as well. Wait here. Let's said as the three males went to talk the females and explain what Naruto went through. The girls covered their mouths in shock when they heard about the molestation part. That's what Naruto thought. It's okay, Luca encouragingly stayed to his side. Haru then walks back over to boy with a smile. Naruto, I have a proposal for you. From what we understand, you are most likely far away from home. So how about you travel with us? We are currently still in the elemental nations but at the border of the lightning country, and far away from those people. We can train you to become strong enough to protect yourself, and do some sightseeing as well. You see, we're currently on our way home and we would like you to come with us. But if you want to go to another village then we can drop you off along the way. What do you say? Naruto quickly stood up and nodded. Please take me away. I can't stay here, ever I want to leave. Haru smiles and raises his hand. Naruto flinches until he felt his head being patted. Don't worry, I won't hurt you. He brings Naruto to his side. Come on, let's go to Fiori. 3 years later. ZZZ. HM. Luca giggled as she saw him sleep peacefully. Hard to believe it's only been 3 years. The boy was sleeping at her lap. Naruto rare groove glory. She smiled with a blush when he took her family name as well, stating that it was his honor to be related to her in name only. Luca yawned a bit as she rubbed her eyes. It'd been a week since they have started their own journey. Looking to her right was 2 swords stabbed into the ground, proudly crossing each other. Decalogue and 10 Commandments, the 2 greatest swords in all of existence. How they came to obtain those swords is a long story in itself, but to make it short, they are the inheritors of their father's dreams. Luca patted his head as she saw the sunrise. Hey Naruto, she sang out beautifully as the boy lazily opened one eye. The sun is up, let's watch it together. She grinned as the boy got off her lap and nodded. As he sat next to her, Luca placed her head on Naruto's shoulder. Hey. HM? What is it? Naruto asked lazily. You know, my mother told me that around these parts when 2 friends watched the first sunrise together, they would be together forever. She said excitedly. Won't that be great? He nodded with a great big smile on his face. Yeah, it would be. The light came, making the 2 groan at the sudden heat, although they sat in silence, their fingers intertwined as they held on tightly. Naruto felt peace and no longer afraid of returning home. As long as Luca was with him, he can face anything. Luca? Yeah? You'll always be my best friend. 10 years later. Last stop. Oh, a young man said as he lifted his head from his hand that carried it. Must have dozed off there, y'all. With the boy yawned from the tiredness before taking off his hat to scratch his head and place it back. He stood up as he looked at the large body of water that the train he was in was passing by. He saw his reflection. Naruto R. Glory face. Naruto had grown over the past 10 years. He now wore a short, wide black hat with a flat top on it, while wearing a rather nice 3-piece suit, consisting of a white dress shirt, a long red scarf that's tied and held properly by a large gold brooch, and has a black jacket over that. His dress pants was also rather nice, as well as it was black and has black shoes too. Moving back to his seat, he stared at the wall that had 2 large bandaged swords. Luca, I will make up for my mistakes, he vowed before noticing a pink-haired boy passing by him. He looked rather ill. Standing up, he looked at the hallway. Sir? Are you okay? Blah. You, Naruto groaned out. Ugh, sorry, kinda sick at the moment, he groaned. You have motion sickness? Naruto blinked. Hi. The blonde smiled as he grabbed some candy. Here, these are perfect then, it'll help you cure it. No more than a second, the boy took his treats and ate them wrapper first. Tea, thanks. Name's Natsu. Naruto smiled back at the boy. Good on ya, my name is. We have reached the last stop. I'll see you next time, Naruto said as he placed one sword on his back while the other turned into a purple sphere as it went into his hand. Till we meet again. Walking outside to the station, Naruto looked up into the sky. Alright, gotta find fairy tales soon, he said with a warm smile. Chapter start. The blonde was walking around the city smiling at the life it had. The rave master didn't really like big areas too often due to his fear of women. But he enjoyed simple walks like this. He felt happy as if walking with his old friends again. I wonder if I should get some candy? Naruto wondered out loud as he felt his urge for sugar to be satisfied. Oh man, I never felt this hungry in a long time. Looking around for any shops, Naruto smiled, as just walked up to one. Hi, what's the sweetest candy you got? He smiled at the cashier who was bent over, until the person stood up. His smile became stiff and awkward. Why? It was a woman. The boy breathing slowly became short until he took a step back and spoke. If possible, anything Eastern type candies? The woman nodded as she looked around. We got tons. I take it you want the cheap stuff. Maybe some more tasty stuff if you're looking to spend more jewels on them. The boy nodded with a slight nervous nod. Anything like an adult would like. Naruto smiled, remembering the one friend who made him get a sweet tooth for candy. Let me see here, the woman said as she turned around and looked through the shelves. Control, Naruto thought as he suddenly gripped his left arm with his right hand, using pain to calm his nerves. Get over your fear. Aha. Here we are, the woman said as she turned around and presented a small pouch of candy. These should do. 10 jewels. 15 jewels, take the 5 as a tip for choosing them. Naruto slowly gave the coins, but as soon as the hand came near him. He drops his cash on the floor. Whoops, I'll get that, the cashier said quickly, gathering the bills. You should see a doctor if your shaking is getting that bad. Smiling weakly, Naruto agreed. Yes, I believe my illness is getting to me. Do you know the nearest magic store is? I need for stationery for mail. Oh, just 2 blocks east of here. You shouldn't miss it. Walking quickly out of the store, Naruto sighed as he leaned into a wall. That was too close, I couldn't breathe. Taking deep breaths, the boy looked down with sad eyes. Gomen, Okita Oda Luka, I'm still scared. Guess I can't get over it still. Taking out a candy from his bag, today's mood is set by. Naruto smiled as he walked to the store while doing his normal fun habit. When he was a kid, Naruto would buy a bag full of random treats, and decide his entire day would be set on one candy treat. Taking out the one, he gave a quizzical look, looking at the object in between his thumb and index finger. This candy was strange. It looks delicious, but. Taking it in his mouth, his eyes widened as he puckered his lips tightly. Ugh, hi, sour. He took it out of his mouth. I hate sour balls. He complained. So a sour day? Great, just what I need. But he saw the store. Perhaps this was a better turn of events. Passing into the door, he spoke. Hello, I request some magic papers for making. His eyes widened as he repeated his words when seeing a woman in a provocative pose. She was a young girl of 17 years with brown eyes and shoulder-length blonde hair that's tied by a blue ribbon in a small ponytail to the right side of her head with the rest of the hair loose, and she also has a buxom and curvaceous body. Her outfit consists of a white sleeveless blouse with blue outlining the blouse and a blue miniskirt, always having a belt that held a set of keys and a whip with a heart-shaped end. And she wore black, leather high-heeled boots. When Naru-san, pick up your jaw. Naruto shook his head when his mind wandered to the point that he heard his friend's voice. Forgive me, I'll wait outside, he said before closing the door again as he sighed heavily. Damn it, maybe I am gonna have a sour day. Wait, it isn't what it looks like. The girl quickly got off the counter, waving her hands frantically, trying to fix the misunderstanding. Thank you. Naruto smiled as the old man passed him the papers he wanted. Cradling the papers in his arms, a shy smile appeared that made the old man pass out from the cuteness. Sir? He asked, worried if the man died for some reason. While the girl smiled at the feat, to get reaction she usually has to wear outfits, and even try show some skin to get that reaction. You're deadly with looks. How so? He asked, looking back at her. Miss Lucy, was it? Yes. That's right. She nodded. Sorry that I thought what I thought. He apologizes as he walked out the store. Wait, hold up. Lucy called out, going after him. Naruto's eyes widened as she was about to touch him, moving his feet quickly in perfect movement, evading her touch, making Lucy nearly fall on her face. I am sorry, he cried out. Oi, Lucy muffled. Man, so much for asking directions to fairy tale. Ding! A light bulb in Naruto's head lit up when he heard that. Perhaps I have heard wrong, but did you say fairy tale? Wow, funny you should say that, but I'm trying to find fairy tale too. Really? She said, standing before him, earning a light blush from him. Aren't they the best? Taking a step back to regain his mindset, he nodded. I believe so, my friend wanted to join them. So I would like to meet them. Yes. Maybe we can find the salamander while we're at it. Salamander? He's the strongest fire mage in fairy tale, and it'd be so awesome if we met him. Lucy squealed with delight. What is with this girl? Naruto thought with a sweat drop. Salamander. Naruto twirled a stand of hair cutely as he smiled. I heard the rumors that he is a great fire mage. I believe I can see a few reasons why. Right. Lucy's eyes sparkled. So what did you say? We can find the salamander together. Perhaps, but the odds of finding him in this whole country is rather vast, he explained. And this was true, not counting the other continents that his parents and those women used to live. The odds of finding that fire mage is going to be rather bad. Salamanders here? A random woman voice screeched. GH. Naruto cringed upon hearing the woman screech. What? Lucy asked with a smile. Let's go. Or else we miss him. Alright. Naruto laughed sheepishly before the two of them headed out to look for this salamander. What have I gotten myself into? He groaned in his thoughts. The two blondes entered to see a huge crowd of women around them as the male blonde teen paled at the amount of women. Stay calm, stay calm. Hey, are you okay? Lucy asked worriedly. You look pale. Huh? Naruto snapped out of it to look at her. The girl was about to touch his shoulder, but Naruto moved away, as he pointed to the center. There, I think we find him. Really? Where? Lucy gasped, suddenly looking in the direction when he pointed. The boy's eyes watched as a purple-haired man was dancing in the air with purple flames, almost forgetting the women. Naruto's eyes show rather a bored look. He isn't salamander, he said in a disappointed tone. Let's go. However, realizing that Lucy wasn't moving, he turned back. Lucy? Looking at her, she was blushing and had hearts in her eyes. Lust spell? He then looked towards the purple-haired man and saw something in his ring finger that was glowing. That ring, is he controlling these women with that? Igneel. Naruto thoughts broke off as he watched a pink-haired boy enter the crowd and in front of the man, Wakiri, not Igneel. Natsu? Naruto blinked. The blonde eyes watched as the girl's eyes started to turn into angry silts. This isn't good. The warrior thought, as fangirls are way worse than the woman he is used to. I better nip this in the bud. A small pale green jolt of electricity flew out of his left hand's fingers, as it crawled in the ground and climbed up the fake salamander. Boom. Naruto whispered before bending his knees. Crack. The purple-haired man gripped his hands as he felt his ring shattered. What the hell? Trying to charm these women is one thing, but controlling them is another. Naruto frowned. Grabbing the pink-haired boy and then Lucy while trying not to pass out or scream, he ran like hell when the girls went to the fake salamander. Hey, what are you doing? Let me go, you! Natsu snapped, only to see Naruto was dragging him. Hey, you're that guy. Did you have any idea the insane thing I just did? Naruto said demonically as his body gained a dark and dreadful aura as his hair lifted up, making him look like a monster. Do you? Eek! Lucy shrieked in fear. Or, what are you? Dash? What's with the mirror? Natsu said as he went backwards as Naruto walked prepared to hunt him. Back at Konoha. Ruka was lying on the rooftop garden of her family compound while smoking. She hated the crude habit that she recently gained. She takes out the cancer stick out of her lips and flick off the ashes beside her. Each day was the same self-loathing, killing, smoking, pleasuring herself and eating, only that her little servant brother is missing. Her daily routine might have not changed, but each passing day starts feeling more hollow and pointless. She hates it how she can never be as strong as her twin sister, who's always been able to beat her in almost everything. Despite how hard she tried to surpass Keed, she always remained in the second place. She despises that, and thus the self-loathing. Usually when she is in a foul mood, she takes on missions that require lots of killing so she could go on a killing spree to vent her frustrations. Now it's smoking fun, as she used to buy a pack of cigarettes as a souvenir whenever she visited a different village on a mission. Now, she needs a pack a day just to stay calm. She even tried using more pleasurable means to relieve her stress. But no matter how many times she used her fingers, toys, or even horrors, she can't climax anymore. She even went as far as to ask her twin for help when they both went on a week-long mission, but alas, 6 straight hours of scissoring or tongue-licking could not help her release her stress. Ruka bit her lips as she put her arm over her eyes. Naruto. She missed those days where she would return home after work to see her little brother standing at the doorway smiling. He always cared for her well-being. When she was hungry, he would prepare her the most tasty meals he was capable of. When she was tired, he would prepare her a bath with the perfect temperature to soak in, and fresh, clean clothes awaited her whenever she was done, and when she had urges she would use him as a cuddle toy. His frail body was just so soft and smooth that she couldn't help herself but want to hold him close to her. She remembers the time when she first saw her little brother as a baby. He was so perfect, like a little angel that was given to her by the heavens themselves. That innocent smile he would give her while reaching out for a hug, he was pure perfection. She wanted to have him all to herself. When her mothers were busy with work and her sisters were training, she took it upon herself to take care of her precious baby. Not a single day she ever regretted that time. She giggles to herself, remembering that one time she even breastfed him. Although she was too young to understand that she couldn't produce milk yet, it still made her feel more closer to him. But as years went on, her kunoichi career required more and more of her time and effort. That in return meant she would have to spend less and less time with her brother during the day. That frustrated her, so she often had temper issues during combat, and it would result in her maiming her targets before killing them. Then when Keed started becoming better than her temper grew to such levels that torturing enemies wasn't enough to cool it down, and when she would return home, she would need some sort of outlet, and Naruto was just so conveniently there. The pent-up aggression overrode her sense of sympathy and attachment, so he ended up being her punching bag. That continued for about a year till she got bored of it and decided to spice up her little hobby by making Naruto pleasure her a little. A grope there, a lick there. Of course she didn't allow him to do it on her more private areas. That again continued for a full year until she decided that since she allowed him to touch her, it was time that he returned the favor by allowing her to do that to him, and as a big sister she had the right to be rougher to him. It's her right as an elder sibling. Damn it, did you have to run away, Naruto? Ruka grumbled to herself. It's starting to get harder to control her emotions, and soon cigarettes won't cut it. There is only one person who can bring her life back on its tracks, the one who can bring her peace of mind and make her whole again, the one who can release her body from its tension. You're like my drug, she mumbled. Yes, he is almost like a drug to her that she couldn't get enough of, and now that he's gone she's gone into a severe withdrawal. She needs him, he's hers, and she needs him, damn it. He is mine, all mine. Ruka spoke out loud with a hint of madness in her voice. With Naruto. The trio was sitting in a restaurant. May I take your orders? A cute girl walked up to them, holding a paper pad. You and Naruto stuttered. One of every item you got. Natsu grinned. We can't pay that much. Lucy cried out comically. I got it, as an apology for flipping out. Naruto said as Natsu paled. He made me watch what he did to me. He cowered in fear at the event. Very well. Please excuse me, the maid said before going back to tell the chefs their order. Oh, also a salmon special. Naruto quickly raised his voice. Yes, sir. Why do they always yell? Naruto chuckled as he never understands waitresses. So anyways, Natsu got out. Never thought I'd see you around in town. Yes, same here. How's that motion sickness of yours? Naruto said with worry in his eyes. I take it that it wasn't too bad? Ugh, don't remind me. Happy was supposed to help, but he bailed out on me. The pink-haired teen said with a blue face as he remembers what happened. Happy? My blue cat friend. Oh, I guess that's normal. Naruto simply said as Lucy looked at him with a shocked look. That's considered normal for you? Well, I did spend my life with former amnesiac women, 2 Dragon Race members, a legendary hero, a silver skill user who flirts, and a talking penguin. A what? Lucy blinked. My family. Naruto trailed off. Oh well, I haven't talked to them in a long while. Oh, I'm sorry, she apologized. No, it's not like they abused. The rave master's eyes widened in horror as he started to cough violently, almost throwing up. Cough. Gah. Herk. Sorry, must have been something I ate. Are you okay? Lucy asked. Why, yeah, fine. Cough. Naruto said. Wow, and I thought I had it bad. Natsu said. Yeah, the male blonde teen agreed. Anyway, I was wondering if you two know where's Magnolia? I need to head for that town soon. Oh yeah? That's where I'm heading. Natsu said. So what's the train heading there? Maybe I can catch the next one soon. Ugh, no, please don't say it. Natsu groaned. Just thinking about it makes me sick. Sorry, but do you know? He persisted, hoping to get the information. Well, I guess the next train comes in a few hours or so. I know which one. Oh, the food's here. Naruto smiled gently as the waitress and her coworkers all came to bring the food. He smiled as he got a wooden plate with a freshly cooked salmon with a small square of garlic butter. The flavor is well done. Not as good as her cooking, but well enough. Sounds like you had a good chef, Lucy said. No, Okita-chan couldn't make anything besides Eastern-type food. Naruto covered his hand. Her sushi though, it was heaven on earth. HMHM, Lucy giggled with a teasing smile. Oh, was she a girlfriend? Slam. The restaurant looked to see Naruto standing up before he blushed. Sorry. He quickly sat back down with a flustered look. Sorry, she wasn't my girlfriend. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you angry. Lucy apologized as she saw Natsu stuffing his face. Did she? No, she was like a big sister. Serious but goofy when she had her moments. The boy's eyes became half-lidded remembering the woman he met. But my first love is my only, sadly. Oh, what was her name? Lucy asked. Luca. She was. Naruto smiled sadly. She was the kindest soul I've ever met in my whole entire life. Natsu lifted his head at the mention of the name, Luca. I think Igneel mentioned her. What? Naruto's eyes widened. You know Luca? No, my dad told me something like. Ugh, some brat nearly clipped my wings. Natsu, you better not mess with women like her. Natsu said in a low voice as Lucy giggles. Sounds like a rough dad. Wait, Igneel, isn't he? My dad is a dragon? The two males said in unison. How do you know about Luca/Igneel? Luca told me that she faced a fire dragon when she left for a bit. Naruto explained before grabbing Natsu. Now you tell me how Igneel knows Luca, or else I get the mirror and restart the torture again. He swore, getting out a hand mirror as the pink-haired boy turned white, lifting his hands up in hopes to stop Naruto. He was bragging one day and I asked if he ever lost. And Igneel mentioned a long-haired woman with a dark-looking sword, beat him but only thanked him for the experience. Natsu stuttered as he saw the dark aura around Naruto's body once more, and he said that was the only human to ever beat a dragon without Dragon Slayer magic. You were raised by a dragon. The two looked at Lucy, who looked horrified at the fact of the teen boy being raised by one of the most legendary creatures. Yeah, I thought Igneel was here and happy and me came down to look for him. Out of curiosity, did you think that it wouldn't be strange to see all those folks not freaking out if there was dragon here? Naruto asked as Natsu gained a look of realizations. Come to think of it, that would be weird if that happened. So now you noticed. Naruto deadpanned. Damn. So much for finding him here in this town. Natsu banged his fist on the table. Smiling, he pat Natsu's head in a brotherly fashion. There, it's okay. The wait would be worth it, he said as the pink-head boy nearly cried at the kindness. Are you sure? Trust me, it builds character. Naruto nodded, assuring. Sometimes thinking things through is better than doing the right thing, I suppose. Well, while I enjoy the company, I must get my ticket. Goodbye. Digging in his pocket for the right amount, he placed the bills down, alarming the young female woman that he had such amounts in his clothes. She wanted to ask if it was all right to take it, but when looking up he was already gone. I hope to meet him again, he's a nice guy to be with. Nom nom nom. Deadpanning at the pink-haired boy's savage way of eating, Lucy couldn't help but smile at his easygoing life. Well, I should go too. It's been a nice and interesting way to meet you, Natsu. Back with Naruto, he was walking down the streets. I have to do some fishing for supplies down the road, he said, walking away, but frowned as he felt the people around him joking and smiling. Fools don't realize that Lucas saved them all, arrogant and foolish people. Walking away to head to his life, a life that Lucas saved for this ungrateful world. The swordsman glared. He stopped outside, smiling sweetly like he would for the woman who saved him. Afternoon. Naruto was smiling as he was spending his time sitting and fishing. Naruto don't lose hope in others. The blonde gripped his pull harder as he heard her voice, but it wasn't hers, rather his own mind. I paid my mistakes. Turning his head to see nothing, the blonde felt bad. It's been years since his mistakes for what happened to Luca, and he can't take his own life knowing it won't make up anything. Looking at the reflection of his face, he looks like a young man just started to become a man, but really he was older than he looked. He glared at that image, knowing that it was because of his bloodline making his longevity and youth extend until. He placed a hand over his heart with a sad smile, almost letting himself cry at the remainder of what Luca did for him. Naruto stared at his reflection with a tired look. I feel more like a stone, unable to change for years. He then looked back up in the sky, and his mind showed an image of the girl he had loved so much. Luca, he muttered sadly. Oh, how I wish I could take everything back, then you wouldn't have to die. Standing up, he looked up, wondering if is that a ship? What the fuck, dash? Lucy comically shivered as she almost died when her spirit caused them crash into the beach of the town. Gah! What the heck just happened? She turned her head to see Naruto head poking out from what it seems to be a large area that wasn't hit. And Naruto? You didn't see that, did you? See what? Naruto asked, before seeing a mermaid. Is what I think it is? Ugh, Lucy, next time summon me. Well, hello there. The woman noticed Naruto, who blushed at her predatory look. Naruto focused on her body and hopes to avert his fear. She resembles a royal blue mermaid. She has a long, blue fishtail, light blue hair that reaches up to her waist, and a large bust. She has blue eyes that seem to have no pupils. This odd woman wears a revealing dark blue bikini top, and on each arm, she has a golden armlet and bracelet. She also has a headband, 3 piercings on her tail, and a golden belt at her waist and light blue crystal earrings. A dark blue tattoo resembling the Aquarius zodiac symbol rests right under her collarbone. The woman also wields an urn under her left arm. Eep! He squeaks as she cups his chin to look at his face more closely. Please remove your hand, please? HM? The mermaid tilted her head. What's wrong? Why can't I look at a good-looking young man such as yourself? My, you look rather dashing in that outfit. I don't like when women come strongly at you. Naruto had to put down the urge to smile when he heard Luca's voice, for whenever women tried to allure him. However, his eyes turned dark and serious as he pushed down the woman. Be careful. He warned as the spirit under him blushed at his brashness before jumping once more to pounce on Lucy to save her from another block of debris from hitting her. Damn, where the hell that came from? He gritted. You okay, Lucy? The girl under him copied the same as her spirit, blushing while looking at his manly face as he looked for the reason why debris was being thrown about. Until his eyes became stoic and empty. So that's the reason why the boat is trashed? He deadpanned as he saw a pink-haired male flying about with flame-covered fists. Boom! You're dead! Natsu roared out. Wait, Natsu? Why is he? Heh. Now it all makes sense. Naruto said. Long story? That purple-haired perv was kidnapping girls. Lucy stopped as she saw a black aura around Naruto's body. And you okay? Wanna take a nap? She comically suggested as Naruto tilted his hat downward. He did what? It was rhetorical. I heard you the first time, Naruto said as he gently put down Lucy. Now stay here, I'm going to commit some murder or at the very least break some limbs. Wait. Don't go killing people. Lucy freaked out. Naruto, however, was already moving ahead as he unbuttons his suit and his inside vest to allow some breathing room for his body. As he moved, the blue mermaid moved towards Lucy. You were planning on nabbing him? Huh? What do you mean? Well, he is cute. Are you planning on grabbing some of that cute ass? The adult woman said with a perverted smile. Cause I would like to take a bite of those buns. Just what do you think you're doing? TCH, you're no fun, she said before vanishing, leaving Lucy confused and annoyed. Never knew Aquarius was such a pervert, Lucy muttered. Naruto, however, grabs Natsu with a dark look. I'm taking over here. He warned dangerously at the idiot teen that just pouted at him. Hey, what are you doing? This is my fight. He's framed me for taking my identity. Now! He screamed, dragging Natsu closer to his face to make direct eye contact that made the pink-haired man pale. While that single word echoed throughout the town, and the result was a shaky Natsu who gave a weak thumbs up. Hi, he weakly said, watching the blonde move ahead. Holy crap, that guy might be scarier than Urza. Alright, you piece of crap. Come out so I can break your limbs, Naruto shouted. The man did so. Whether it was out of courage or sheer stupidity, Naruto didn't care. As the man walked up to the tallest junk pile, Naruto took out his candy bag and started to shift through it, choosing a candy to eat as he waited for the man to talk. So I heard you tried to kidnap women? He said, taking out a pasty of some kind, but placed it back to look for another. So what of it? The man felt something wet on his cheek and touched it. TCH. What? Seeing red blood on his face, the man gaped at Naruto, who vanished from his spot to appear to his right side. How it did? Funny thing about the past, no matter how you want to conceal it, it will always pop up. Like my past on hunting little shits like you, he said, turning his head darkly to glare at the man. The way his neck was twisted and his dead-like eyes scared the man deeply. Hi, the man flinched in fear. By the way, Naruto held up something that made the man's eyes widen in horror. This belongs to you. In his hands was an armbora. Looked down and fainted as it was his. Naruto chuckled as he dropped the appendage, letting it vanish. Idiot couldn't tell a simple illusion like that. Shouldn't bother playing with the big boys. While you knocked him down without touching him, Natsu said with a wide smile, watching Naruto's demeanor change to a gentler aura rather than his cruel one. It was nothing really, Naruto shrugged. So, what were you saying about this guy framing you? This punk was using my name to pick up chicks. I was gonna kick his butt, then you stole. Natsu was about to yell, but Naruto's scary dead eyes appear, making hitch his breath. Nothing. Good, I hate people like him. Naruto glared at the unconscious man, glancing at his neck with a dark look. Could be easy just to drop my 10 commandments on his exposed jugular vein, he thought before shaking his head to shake his head of those thoughts. Stop it, you're not a killer anymore. You're going to be a hero like Luca always wanted to be. So let me guess, you're the real salamander, Naruto said. Yup. Nodding in approval, can you take me to Fairy Tail? If possibly, I wish to await, Naruto said almost girlishly as Natsu dragged him, and somehow Lucy as an angry mob follows them. Why are they chasing us? I didn't do anything, Lucy whined with comical tears flowing down her eyes. Well, I did mess up the town, so Natsu grinned, before running off. Let's get run for it. Hey, wait up, Naruto shouted, running after him. As they ran with the crazy destructive teen, Naruto smiled brightly, that was boyish and sweet. The smile that he wishes he could use in his earlier life. Luca, our dreams are going to be realized. Unknown location. A young woman with dark-colored hair stopped reading her book as she saw a photo on her crack. TCH. Walking forward, she grabbed it. Looking over it, she smiled kindly. Taking the paper out of the broken frame, and looked over it carefully. It was Naruto, a bit younger, with the woman next to him. I miss you, my darling. Contradiction. She was about to put it away but quickly look around if anyone was near her, and after making sure, she stuffed the picture underneath her clothes. And she resumed her reading, although now humming. If anyone knew her well, they know that it only happened if Naruto was with her. Phantom Lord. A young woman with blue long hair, tightly curled at the base, wearing a sapphire blue coat, a cream-colored fur-trimmed navy blue shawl with a pure white Tera bozu attached to it, as well as a matching Russian Cossack hat. Juvia wishes someone will love her. The young lady suffers another heartbreak when her boyfriend dumps her for the rain clouds that always follow her. No one wants to love Juvia, she sighed. Looking up, can someone love her with unlimited affections? Magic Council. A woman wearing a white kimono was writing down some papers, enjoying the peace, until she looked down to notice the newest fairy tale report. A smile came across her face as she saw a photo of a laughing Natsu, a screaming Lucy, and a worried Naruto. Well, now isn't this interesting? She smiled wider, caressing the face of the photo Naruto with her index finger with a blush dusting her cheeks. The woman spoke with fondness in her tone. I'm glad you're still around, Grimoire Heart's true ace. Konoha. Minako was sitting on the big gates of Konoha while drinking out of a huge sake bottle. It's ironic that she used to hate alcohol when she was younger, and now drinking it is the only way to cope with her family member's loss. God, I'm feeling sick. I wonder how Tsunade can drink so much of this stuff without puking her guts out. She then looks at the setting sun and remembers the day Naruto disappeared. When her daughters barged into the red-stained room, Ruka was the first one to break out of her shock. She tasted the red stains and found out that it wasn't blood at all, but liquefied chakra that is commonly used by master-level seal users. That had brought out Minako out of her sorrow at that moment, as she concluded that her son wasn't dead, but was simply running away from his duties and responsibilities by getting his hands on some strange seal he knew nothing about. It wouldn't have been that hard to get one for him, as she often left various experimental seal drawings on paper scattered around her office. Naruto simply could have taken one when he was cleaning the room. Perhaps he thought one of them would allow him to escape, but at first it didn't matter. She and the rest of her family knew that he has no one else to rely on outside of Konoha's walls and waited for him to come back. But he didn't come back. A month had passed since Naruto ran away, and the Namikaze's home that was once shining and smelled like the perfect fragrance of lavender and cherry blossoms became dirty and smelled like old, expired ramen. The house was filled with dirty laundry, empty ramen cups and other trash. Naruto was always the one that took care of cleaning up everything and prepared them delicious meals. With him gone, none of the house females were willing to step in and do something about it. During that same month, Minako, Kushina and their daughters also became rather antsy without Naruto being there to relieve them of their pent-up stress. Finally, after another week passed by, they decided that enough is enough and that they needed their personal servant back. Minako ordered her best Umbu squad to do a secret search for Naruto, and after doing so she waited for a long time. Days turned into weeks, then into months, but not a single hint of Naruto was discovered anywhere. There was no hint that he even was alive anymore. Minako's frustration grew because of it, so she had an Inuzuka clan member volunteer to join in the search. She had found an old shirt in Naruto's room, and fortunately it still had enough scent in it for the Inuzuka dogs to sniff it. After more frustrating months of wait, the search team finally returned, but their report wasn't pleasing either. During the first month, the tracker dogs managed to get a whiff of a very, very faint scent of Naruto near Kumo's borders. The Umbu tried searching for any more scent in a 20-mile radius but found nothing. They did a secret throughout search of the small village, only to end up with the same results. Then, for the next month, the Umbu team tried searching for the missing blonde by increasing the search radius around the village, but it was hopeless. It's as if the boy vanished into thin air when he arrived at the village. After the Umbu team finished their report, Minako dismissed them, but ordered them to not speak about the mission to anyone. Afterwards she informed her family of the failed search, and needless to say the reactions weren't the best ones. Almost all of the family members started blaming one another for their servant's disappearance. Some of them even turned violent, and it took both Minako's and Kushina's strengths to calm them down. The following day, all of the family females decided to continue Naruto's search in secret. Whenever they are out on missions, all of them will keep an eye open for Naruto when they have free time. While an agreement was reached, the tensions didn't disappear. Kid and Ruka practically isolated themselves from the family. They would barely talk to anyone, and after missions they would either go to do some training or simply shut themselves in their rooms and come out only during meals or baths. These tensions have continued for years and had somewhat lessened, but only barely. Minako takes one last swig of her sake, trying to make herself forget about her troubles. But the more she thinks about Naruto, the more she wants him. She will find him, and she will bring him back either willing or not. Chapter end. Chapter start. Naruto lay on a grassy field as he saw some of his friends sat next to him. A girl with long raven hair smiled widely at him. I found you, Vice Captain. A woman appeared next to the short woman, almost like she warped into existence. She wore a white and teal haori over her white combat kimono. We were wondering what your days off were like. Oh, sorry, Oda-san. Naruto nodded respectfully at the woman. Well, as you can see, it's pretty relaxing. Want to join? The woman looked around and gave him a confused look. Join what? Watching clouds, where I used to live. I've met a lazy family that would spend days watching clouds, and I know why now. It's nice. He stated, fondly remembering the very few happy moments of his past. The woman looked at the other female, who already took Naruto's right side, a healthy distance away from him, knowing his fear. This is peaceful, the girl said, folding her arms behind her head. Oda pouted as she joined soon after, but eyes slowly closed, then snoring. Naruto turned his head to hear the other woman giggling. Noticing his look, she smiled. Naruto, I'm glad you trust us, her hand slowly reaching to his body, and maybe one day she had her hand over Naruto's cheek. We could. Naruto's eyes opened up as he felt the train stopped. He smiled even after the bittersweet memory was fresh on his mind. If only you two were here now, Naruto said, looking out the window. On his breast pocket was a white and teal handkerchief, a memento of his close friend O. Ugh, Hinatsu groaned, his face being green as his cheeks were puffed out while beads of tears formed in his eyes. You're still not used to it, Hinatsu? Naruto chuckled. No. He groaned as Lucy started to stir. Please kill me. I could get the mirror out, Naruto stated as he pulled out a blood-stained hand mirror. Nope. I'm good, Natsu stated, smiling despite looking like he will vomit at the very moment. You really need to take care of yourself, Naruto said worriedly. The two males turned to see Lucy yawning as she opened her eyes to see her two new friends. Is it morning already? Happy cheered. We're finally here in Magnolia. Holy shit. There's a fucking talking cat. Naruto crewed the yell out, before covering his mouth. Sorry, Auntie Julia over here. Happy. Natsu hugged the blue cat that had white bird-like wings on its back before suddenly choking on its neck. Why the hell you leave me behind? The cat cried waterfall tears. Mary Jane caught a lot of fish, and I couldn't fight it. He cried as Naruto covered his mouth with his hand to stifle a small feminine laugh. Seriously? This early in the day? Lucy sighed. I just want one day of normalcy around here. Well, Naruto started as he grabbed his traveling bag from above. It depends on what you perceive as normal. To Natsu, this could be normal for him. The group quickly left the platform as they looked at streets where Fairy Tail was supposed to be. The new rave master enjoys being in awe of the busy street. He always wanted to live in crowded places, and this is the reason why. People knew others here, a slice of heaven. So where's your guild at? Naruto asked. You literally can't miss it, Happy said, pointing to what seemed to be a castle-esque building that stood out from the rest of the town. Naruto stopped as he saw a doll. It was so pretty. Lucy turned around to watch the blonde male blushed at the sight of a cute doll. She smiled as she pushed Natsu ahead. Naruto, we'll go on ahead, go buy that toy. Huh. Oh, okay. Naruto said distractedly. He hated loving cute things. But damn it, it was too cute to pass up. Entering the store, he blushed as he saw little kids, mostly girls, wandering around the store. Reaching to the desk, he saw the owner was turned their back. Excuse me, that doll in the window, is it possible for me to purchase it? HM? The shop owner asked, turning around, and Naruto saw it was a woman once again. Oh yes. It is. How much? Naruto stuttered. Oh my god, Lord Rave Master? The woman said, grabbing a pair of glasses, and nearly started to cry. You're alive! Huh? Naruto looked incredulous. I'm sorry, do I know you? Yes, when Rosemary Village burned down you saved me and my mother, she stated, before trying desperately to remind him of something. The day that Demon Guard was supposed to be a real guild. Demon Guard. Naruto's first attempt to create a guild. Only one village knew that name, and Naruto saw a little girl with Coke bottle-sized lenses always playing with Marie. Wow, you grew up, he said, smiling angelic at the woman. I wish I could say the same for you, Lord Naruto. She bowed, before taking a closer look. Really though, it's as if the attack never happened to you, time never passing you. The Rave Master couldn't find the words to explain. I was in a bad place, and after it was done I rested my eyes for many years. Until I had the will to wake up again. The man spoke cryptically as Marie nodded, before moving away from the desk to get the doll. Naruto, this doll is yours. She got on one knee, ignoring the looks from her usual patrons. I modeled it after Lady Luca. Marie, Naruto muttered. You didn't have to. I want to, and I believe if I did. She looked down sadly. Maybe she could come back. Naruto could understand that notion more than anything in this decaying world. The world is poor without her, Naruto ruefully spat out in utter disgust. Please don't let me hold you up. Come back anytime. I always do personalized dolls for a large amount of jewels. But for you, free my lord, she urged him. Are you sure? Naruto stated as he tried to reach for the pocket where his money is. I could at least pay for the M. No, the doll maker stated before stopping. Just live, please. The man looked at her oddly as the woman dabbed her eyes with her sleeve. I pray every night that you of all the members were safe, so please just be safe. Before he could finish, the woman was dragged back inside by the kids, waving a quick goodbye as Naruto was alone again. He looked down and smiled sadly at the masterfully crafted doll. It really did look like Luca. But he knew that really it was never to be given to anyone. It was too perfect, yet she did it for someone like him. Thank you, Marie, I'll cherish this always. The young man walked through the streets of Magnolia with the doll in tow, while smiling happily all the while. I wonder if she can make my family in Demon Guard? He said, playing with the doll in his hands. He always did like making things, but this was out of his league. Naruto. The man quickly stuffs the doll into the bag as he saw Lucy and Natsu leave a building. Oh, is this the place? He muttered to himself as he enters the steps, before he could ask Natsu past him. Sorry, Natsu says we have to save a friend. We'll be back, just enter and tell them you want to join, Lucy said before she went to catch up with Natsu. Naruto said to himself. They sure were in a hurry, he commented, before turning his attention back to the building. So this is the place, he said, before entering through the door. The man quickly brought his blade to stop a pillar of ice from hitting his face. Quickly moving forward, he went the ice attack and dragged the blade on it, placing the steel edge on the one who used the attack. The blade rested on the teen's neck. Naruto's eyes became hollow as he laid the blade perfectly still. "Oh, sorry, that was for Natsu." Soon as the words reached his eyes, the young rave master's unsettling eyes returned to normal. Now slightly ashamed of his actions, "It's fine. And he's already gone. Something about going to save Marco or something," Naruto said, trying to calm his nerves by acting professional. "You're part of Fairy Tail?" "That's right. Name's Grey Fullbuster." Naruto muttered, as he looked closer at him. "You remind me of someone I once knew." He blushed softly as he realized to pull his sword away from the ice user. Sorry, flight or fight instincts." "It's fine," Grey said. "So, you here to join?" "Something like that. Can I speak with your guild master?" the rave master asked. As soon as he said it, two people walked to him. Once more a blush dusted upon Naruto's cheeks as he saw an elegant beauty with ivory white-haired woman wearing a maroon dress and a short old man next to her. But her eyes, what made Naruto's eyes skip a beat, saw dark blue eyes that held feelings of kindness and love. It twisted his heart greatly as it reminded him of Luca. "I'm Makarov Dreyer, the guild master," the short old man said. "Hello, Mr. Makarov?" Naruto smiled earnestly. "Musica's grandfather says hello." "HM? Oh. Naruto. Is that you, boy? My, you've grown," Makarov said, surprised. "Yeah, it's been a while." Naruto smiled sheepishly. "How have you been?" The old man nodded. "Been good with my children." Naruto looked around at the guild, also nodding back. It seems fun. He knew that this guild was an odd one, and to top it off, one of the best. Perhaps Luca liked it more for its close bonds rather than the title of number one. "Oh, my mother told me to hand this to you." "Oh?" Makarov said, as Naruto handed him an envelope. Once he opened it, his eyes widened. Now things make sense." "I am sorry, what?" Naruto stuttered. Pocketing the papers, the man smiled. "Is there anything else you wish to ask?" Naruto tried to speak but held his tongue, shaking his head. "No, thank you for your time." Leaving quickly he could. "Naruto, you can join, it's fine," Makarov said softly as Grey and Mary Jane, and soon the rest of the guild looked towards the scene. "That past you have buried, right?" "Yes." "And you wish to move on?" Turning to face the man, he nodded yes. "Then you can ask," the guild master said with a small smile, knowing the pain that young man has in his heart. "Makarov-san, may I join this guild?" Naruto asked as the man nodded. "Now you know the answer, of course, my boy." Makarov smiled jovially. "Welcome to Fairy Tail." The teen bowed respectfully, as Grey pat his back. "Well, welcome. Anyway, Mira, get the stamp." "Of course, master." Mary Jane smiled as she went to get said stamp. "So where would you like to be, and what's the color you would like your stamp to be?" Naruto looked at the wooden object before blushing. "I'd rather not expose my body, not since that time I got stranded on that island full of women with Oda and Luca." He shivered in horror when he took off his suit, and the nightmare never ended. Even Oda and Luca joined in that horror. Before he remembers his sword, if possible he undid the buttons to his suit and placed the jacket, and soon shirt, on a table to show lithe yet muscular frame. He touched the left shoulder as he smiled. "And if you can use white and black?" "Of course. I don't see why not." Mira Jane smiled brightly, gingerly placing the stamp over his shoulder and carefully press it as she used magic to add the color. She smiled as she saw the fairy tale symbol on his arm, diagonally black and white, a rather nice taste. She blushed as she saw Naruto turning red as her hands were on his arm longer than she should have. Sorry." Naruto, with a red face, only moved quickly as he could before putting back his clothing in crazy fast speed. "I shall go find an inn, until I save enough for a more permanent residence." "Oh? I take it that your mother didn't tell you about the room she rented?" "I'm sorry?" "Yes. The letter stated that you'd be lodging at Fairy Hills. That's the girl dormitory." "Gone." The whole room turned to see Naruto's sword drop from his back to hit the floor flat side first. Soon his body was devoid of color. "Yeah? You did not read the letter beforehand?" Makarov blinked. "I'm staying at a girl's dorm?" Naruto uttered out. "Yes, I already had the paperwork completed. From what I thought at the time, I believe Miss Ellie would be living there." He started and smiled as he shrugged with a mere chuckle, "But oh well." Naruto raised his arms. "I should get her money then. Men and women shouldn't live under the same house." He tried to persuade the man. "While I would agree with you, your mother would say otherwise," Makarov said, turning the letter around for Naruto to see. "It's in the fine print." But. Every time he said it, his hair comically had hair stains out of place, and his face was so shocked it was almost funny to look at. However, he felt a hand on his rear before letting out a sound that many blush, ky. Stop complaining. We need a cute guy to gawk at. Naruto turned around, with his hands comically shielding his rear end, to see another lovely woman. She wore skin-tight brown pants, and a blue swimsuit bra. While dressed rather risque, Naruto blushed at her lovely beauty. She had exotic tan that most women he met never had. Her long and wavy brown hair had him memorized as it suited a woman with strong confidence like her. Her eyes nearly tricked Naruto as he believes it was black until peering closely that it was a dark purple. Kana Makarov sighed. Stop scaring the poor boy. Come on, what kind of guy says no to living with super sexy girls? She said, reaching towards Naruto, before he vanished from her side. She then looks at where he was before and now to where he is, which was next to Mary Jane, who was behind her when she was talking to Naruto. How'd you do that? I'd rather not say. Naruto cleared his throat. Makarov, there must be some kind of mistake. The man shook his head. By the time the paperwork is done, it'll be hard for us to get your money back as some of the money is being used for future projects. Oh, he was defeated. He couldn't ask them to give them his money when they needed it. So you have two choices: A, I take you to the dorms, or B, they do. Makarov stated as he pointed to Kana and Mary Jane, both of who held whips and chains, as the latter made the chains snap when pulling on them. Eep. Naruto girlishly squeaked as he saw that. A. I choose A. Very well. Makarov nodded. Please follow me, he said before walking off, with Naruto following him with the two girls in tow still holding the items. As he paled whiter and whiter as this happened. In Konoha area unknown. Suri is smiling as she was plays with a skull in her hand. You can hear weak cries of pain and suffering come from the people around who have some of their limbs ripped off while others are mutilated beyond recognition. Naru, the younger of the second oldest twins, spoke cheerfully. POV Suri. HMHM Naru will come home soon. He should know better than try to escape from our family and me. I will have to punish him for leaving like that. Naru. Mama and Mommy have become very upset with him gone, and my sisters have been acting weirdly as of late, but I know that once little Naru is back, all will be back to normal. Oh. This girl is still alive? I look to my right and see a young girl, most likely a genin, trying to crawl away from me. Oh no! That won't do. Splat! Ha 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 ha. The girl's head popped open like a paintball. Ah, my mutation is such an amazing gift. Invisible hands ripping and killing my enemies. Mama and Mommy seem to be frightened by them, but they said as long as I use them for a good cause, they don't mind. I'm pretty sure that killing these foreign trash shinobi and kunoichi meets that condition. Sigh. While it is quite fun slaughtering the bad guys, it's just not the same without Naru. When I would return home, he would always listen to what I have to say of my grand adventures against the enemy since my sisters didn't want to hear about them. I remember sometimes he begged me to stop telling them, but I would just restrain him and make him listen, and if he tried to resist, I punished him. Naru. Mine, my dear little brother, all mine. No matter where you are, I will find you, and I will never let you leave me again, even if I have to tear off your arms and legs to ensure it. End of POV. Scene change. Magnolia. I can't believe this is happening, Naruto dreaded as he continued to walk slowly, as if he was walking on death row. He is trying to get over his fear, but so soon and in such a direct way. Oh, come now, lad. I'm sure it won't be all bad, Makarov tried to assure. And besides, you have an entire bedroom to yourself, so you don't have to worry about rooming with anyone. Is it near the dorm entrance? Naruto hoped. I don't know, the girls will have to escort you. The man stated. No man, no matter what, was to enter the dorms. Until you, that is. But why here of all places? Naruto asked. Mom could have picked the boys' dorm easily. There isn't, Makarov stated as he cupped his chin. The first master made this fairy hills for a friend. Sadly, it wasn't finished when both were passed to the next life. Oh, Naruto got out. Well, if I have to abide by Mom's rules, then fine. Oh, come now, you're more than adult than your parents are. Well, not arguing there. Naruto deadpanned as he agreed wholeheartedly, sadly to say due to his former family treating him like scum. Naruto mentality was more like a young man rather than a teen. Now he feels like an old man at many times. Despite his parents raising him, they were young as well, such as making accidents like destroying towns and getting into silly adventures. Naruto was the adult in most cases, which was sad for his new family as he berated them for their actions. Though they do their best. He admitted with a soft smile into the sky, not many would stop and adopt a child like they did. I wonder where they are. Those were his thoughts as he almost fell face first, when his feet nearly tripped over the short elderly man. Oh, are we? Wow, he stated as he saw a large and mildly imposing building composed of bricks. It consists of a central, elongated section at whose sides sit two wings protruding outwards, with the one to the center's right acting as the main entrance, which takes the form of a double door with a pyramid-shaped upper part topped by a similarly pyramid-shaped roof, held up by wooden beams. enforcing the multitude of standard bricks on the edges and marking rectangular sections in the central part are larger, lighter bricks lined up in vertical rows, with light beams instead marking sections horizontally. The front part of the building possesses a porch adorning the central part, with a steep tiled roof split in sections by beams being held up by simply wooden pillars paired with arcs. The two wings are each adorned by small numbers of large, arched windows, while the central section's windows are similar in design, but noticeably smaller and more numerous. Each section possesses an elongated, pitched roof composed of tiles. The wings, beneath such roof, have round windows adorning their top part. Sitting in front of the entrance, held up by two pillars composed of stone and bricks, flanking the pathway leading to the building, and each topped by the sculpture of a stylized fairy tale symbol, is a large, mildly arched sign reading Fairy Hills in sober, elongated dark characters. Near the entrance, he saw a nice patio with wooden lounge chairs that made him think of summer afternoons while drinking some fruity beverage. Well, I suppose Mira and Kana will take over. Come down to the guild hall when you want to take a mission. The master of fairy tales started with a nudge to Naruto's leg, and bring some details for us male members, you lucky son of a gun. For the record, I don't do those kinds of things. Naruto frowned, even if he wasn't afraid of women. He was taught by Luca to be a gentleman. While he did enjoy the female body, he wasn't a fool like his uncle Hamrio. The two girls glared at their leader, who just dashed away to avoid any punishment. Sheesh, glad to have such a moral-biting man here. Kana winked at Naruto, who ignored her advance. Don't worry. All the girls here are well-behaved, Mary Jane said to Naruto. At least for the most part. Excuse me? She merely shook her head, reaching for Naruto's hand. But she missed as he pulled to the side. His face was void of emotions, which either girl saw, before he smiles charmingly. Sorry, I was hoping to look around a bit. Didn't mean to move away like that, so please show me, he stated, moving a step to the side to allow the white-haired girl to lead him. The three entered the dorm, as Naruto noticed it was empty before quickly realized most of the female were at the guild. Mary Jane pointed to the stairs as they moved quickly up, before stopping at the 4th floor. So amazing, I didn't think this had a 4th floor, Kana said, drinking a can of beer, as Naruto's eyes widened. A bit early for drinking, is it not? Naruto stated as Kana winked at him, as she offers him drink. Somewhere it's nighttime, want a drink? She winked, although her eyebrow twitched as Naruto went on. Oh, I like them playing hard to get. Sorry, I don't drink. Oh, come on. One drink won't hurt ya. No, seriously, I can't drink. Oh ho, what's this? Are you a lightweight? Kana chuckled. It's against my religion, he stated finally. Males don't drink unless they are married. Well, that's no fun, Kana pouted. Naruto smiled inwardly as he didn't really believe in the religion that Luca once followed, but it was good to use when he can. They all stopped when they saw a door blocking the stairway. I guess this is my room? It is. Mary Jane nodded. Go on ahead. We'll bring the rest of your belongings here. The girl then gave him a white key, almost fairy-like design, which Naruto figured was the guild's logo, and Kana was dragged by the kind girl who waved at him. The blonde young man quickly unlocked the door to see large room, almost like a giant living room and mansion. This is my room? He almost gawked. This is definitely way out of my pay range. However, he noticed some doors. Moving the nearest one, he saw a large bathroom almost built for 5. While guess the bathroom is for fun, quickly checking the others was a guest room, large kitchen, and lastly a game room. Mom must have dropped her gambling money here. He then inspected more of his room, as he had a nice assortment of furniture that included a nightstand, a long dresser, walk-in closet, and even a standing mirror that was off to the side. Don't have to spend too much on miscellaneous items, he stated, before blushing as he pulls the nightstand's drawer, and found a few square-shaped packages. And not 1 second later slammed it, as his head produced steam. I forgot that stuff. He did find some women lovely, but with his fear totally forgot that some would like to do something naughty things. Sighing as he shook his head, one day at a time. Knock, knock, knock. Naruto, are you still there? We have your belongings, Mary Jane said from the other side of the door. Dad must have sent them, he said, knowing that he had few items due to him and his family constantly moving from place to place. Just leave it outside, I'll get to it. Okay, and when you're done, come to the kitchen, Mary Jane said before he heard her footsteps fading away, meaning that she had left. Wait, so I have a kitchen while there's another one? He spoke to himself as he realizes that he doesn't have to be near women to make his food. But for now, he shrugged it off as he went to the door and grabbed his things before placing them inside his room. Once he was done, he went out of the room and walked down the hallway of the dorm and into the dorm's kitchen. When he arrived, pop. Pop, There were the sounds of party poppers as Naruto saw there was a lot of food on the table, and above it was a banner that read Welcome to Fairy Tale Naruto. Naruto's eyes widened as he saw many women from the guild around, all wearing light sleepwear. The room they were in was the entertainment room, which had large couch, TV, and a few bookshelves. He would say more, but he had to do the one thing that came into his mind. Crash! The girl's eyes widened as Naruto quickly dashed and crashed towards into the nearest window. Did he know the cake was carrot cake? Kana stated, as the others also wonder. Oh pooh, now all the food's gonna go to waste. A young girl with messy light blue hair pouted. Naruto sighed heavily as he once again let fear run away from women. Sorry Luca, he prayed as he felt like letting her down again. He didn't care if the battle was long, he will win and maybe just maybe touch a girl's cheek without fainting. I'm so unmanly, he cried out yo-yo tears as he saw the light of day dying. He could take a job and hop on a train to reach his destination overnight, then again that's it. He's going to go on a mission. If he's going to do a mission, then that's what he's gonna do. The food and sleep can wait. So he went through the window? Makarov asked the bar matron. That explains him leaving that note in the bar for me to approve some missions. I haven't heard anything bad about him, so I figure it was fine to do. But why the note? I think he was surprised by our surprise, she said, explaining to the master, after Naruto never came back the night they gave the party. And all the food went to waste, the light blue-haired girl pouted. Now Levi, I'm sure there's a reason for this, Mary Jane said. Well, whatever it is, he needs to come back soon, Kana added. Slam! Hey, Naruto stated, as his clothes were torn apart showing his lithe yet well-muscled build. I've finished the quest, he stated lamely as he was trying to cover himself. Phew, someone got ripped. Kana whistled. Ah, there you are, Makarov said. Where have you been, boy? Like I said, I finished the quests, Naruto answered and held up a bag full of jewels. And got a lot of money out of this. Kana smiled as she eyed the male's fine body. And that was the reason you are standing nearly missing a fourth of your clothing? Knock. Knock. The blonde cringed when the door was knocked on. I was never here. He quickly looked around. Crash. And went through another window. And there he goes, Makarov's sweat dropped. The door opened to show a beautiful maiden, walking with utmost care. Greetings, where is my betrothed? She wore a long white and green kimono covering her body, until some realized it was a wedding kimono. Her long white hair was so sparkling in perfection. What? The man stated, as the woman passed him a quest paper. A rank, who can kill the monster terrorizing my village will be rewarded with. Wait. Gray looked over the paper and blushed. My. He repeated the words as soon Makarov was about to speak. My virginity and myself. The woman stated as she used a fan to cover her snide smile. Now I repeat, where is my husband? You know what? Kana started as she looked at the broken window. Before smiling, he went back to his country, which is like a year away. She smirks as the woman looked heartbroken. Should have slept in the gutters, Naruto stated as he walked on the streets, shopping for food, while he did the mission. Successfully killing these rare beasts without problems, the woman of the village offered herself to Naruto in more ways than one. Still, at least I got away from that woman. I am not ready for that. He shuddered. Hey! The blonde turned to see a pink-haired teen walking towards him. Looking down the produce, Naruto spoke. Natsu, did you save your friend? Yeah, he's safe and sound. Natsu grinned. It was easy too. Good, the rave master said, sniffing a tomato and smiled at the ripeness. Stew tonight. Natsu! Mo, you need to wait next time. Lucy ran towards the two with a blue cat in tow. Oh Naruto, I just missed you. What happened back there? Some lady was looking for you and the men are crying for some reason. I don't know, Naruto robotically stated, trying his best to forget everything. Or wanna fight? Natsu started with a wide grin. I heard you did all those quests, with the old man yelling at you. You must be S-rank strong. Not really. I just want to eat and sleep. Hey, even better. After we chow down, then we'll fight. Bong. Oh. Naruto blinked olishly as he saw Lucy, who was panting tiredly, as she slapped the back of Natsu's head. Don't be an idiot. The last thing we need is you wrecking uptown and the Magic Council writing up another complaint. Shut up, Luigi. He growled before his head was hit again. It's Lucy. Naruto smiled at their silly interaction, before frowning. Sorry, but no, there comes nothing from friends fighting each other. Huh? What are you talking about? Think of it as training, Natsu said. No, I rather not. Besides, he turns back as gave a look that shows nothing but raw power. I would kill you if I go all out. Paying for the food, he left as Natsu's eyes narrowed before smiling. Now I really want to fight him. Back at Konoha, Uzumaki Namake's household. Ruka lies in her bed while trying her best to pleasure herself, only to get nothing again. She throws her nightstand at the wall. Fucking damn it. She just wants to fucking climax. Is it so much to ask? Why isn't it this working? Damn it. If only that little shit was here. She mutters the last part angrily. She would chain him to the ground and ride him until he is half dead. She is certain that if she did that, she would finally get her release. Ruka turns her room's door when she hears Kushina knocking and calling out to her. Humph, wonder what does the great cheetah want this time? She thinks bitterly in her mind. There is a secret that only the members of this family know. Kushina is cheating on Minako, and she continues to do so to this very day. The first woman she had done it with is Mei, a cousin from Miss Village, and she does it with her whenever she gets the chance. But it's not only with Mei, no, she has sex with any other Uzumaki female she can find and does not even care about the age difference. Like for example, 4 months ago she fucked an Uzumaki girl from the grass village who was old enough to be considered her daughter. You may think it's wrong, but Uzumaki women are like the constantly changing winds with their sexual acts. They jump from one partner to another, always coming up with new fetishes to enhance their pleasure. Minako didn't mind it at first since she used to have Naruto to molest, but with him now gone, she only allows it because her wife brings Mei for a threesome from time to time. But lately Ruka noticed how Kushina began acting a bit weird. She sometimes, for some unknown reason, stops whatever she is doing at that time and looks at one specific direction for several minutes with a glazed over look in her eyes before snapping out of it. Minako had questioned her about it, but Kushina would always answer that she herself doesn't know why she does it. What is unknown to the family is that Kushina's own natural instincts to mate are acting up. This only ever happens to a fully blooded Uzumaki. This instinct urges a male, or a female, to seek out an Uzumaki partner to reproduce with. Kushina's cheating is partly influenced by that, as she only prefers having sex with Uzumaki blood relatives. At first, this instinct within Kushina was dormant since her original home village, Yuzushiogakure, was destroyed and every Uzumaki male within it was killed. When Kushina married Minako and later gave birth to Naruto, her Uzumaki mating instinct began to slowly awaken since a male with some Uzumaki blood in him was present, but now that he is gone, the instinct has fully awakened and is demanding Kushina to find him. What Kushina will most likely never realize is that the reason she sometimes looks at one specific direction for several minutes is because her instinct is telling her that she can find Naruto in that direction. Ruka, you need to go to your mission, Kushina says in a cheery tone. Sigh, fine, not like I have anything to do here. Humph. Ruka snorts and walks past her mother who has entered her room. As always, remember to keep an eye out for our wayward son, she says angrily. Like Minako, Kushina considers Naruto to be nothing more than a servant of the house. Naruto should have been grateful that he was even allowed to be their servant, as many other people would give up anything so they could be in such a position. I swear, if ever get my hands on that brat, I will put seals on him that will never allow him to disobey us ever again, and once he is punished enough, I'm going to put a dog collar on his neck to always remind him of his position. Kushina mutters angrily to herself. Unbeknownst to her, part of those words are again influenced by her Uzumaki instinct that is telling her to not only find and mate with Naruto, but also to ensure that he never runs away again. But also, a small purple eye was in the corner of the room glowing as it was pleased of what it has created among the females that wrong Naruto. Chapter end. Chapter start. A certain smell suddenly woke up all the females who lived in Fairy Tale. Kana, who first got out of her room, continued smelling the new odor, gracing the dorms. It was something that made her drool. Was that chocolate chip pancakes? She questioned as the drinker looked around as soon more of the girls started leaving their rooms and tried to find the source of the delicious sweet smell. She saw her neighbor to her room, slim young woman of average height with straight, pale lavender hair set in a bowl cut-like style, with her fringe covering the left part of her forehead and the right side exposed. She has also been seen sporting longer hair in other instances, with 2 bangs framing her face and her forehead being covered by her fringe. Lucky Olietta, the woodmaker mage of Fairy Tale. I smell chocolate. Where is it coming from? Kana asked as the girl she saw just shrugged to show her answer. But the door across from the other side opened to see Mary Jane walking towards them interrupted both. A clear smile of sweet-smelling treats making her tummy growl and hunger-freed food. Ah, chocolate chip pancakes. I want some. A dark-skinned girl sporting an orange cat hat has just kicked open her room door. She is Chiko C. Hammett, the daughter of the man who owns Fairy Hills, living there for a smaller amount of the rent. Following this loud awakening, the other girls started to leave their rooms one by one. The last one who came from Chiko's room sniffs the air as well. I smell pecan waffles too. She was a rather young, petite teenage girl of a slender build. She has light shoulder-length hair, dark eyes, and cheek marks. She wears a revealing striped black dress matched with long striped gloves and long striped shoes shaped like an animal's feet. Over her striped gloves, she wears another pair of gloves, light gloves with dark symbols on them. She also sports homemade accessory horns, one on each side of her head. She is Mickey Chicken Tiger, another member of Fairy Tail, and a roommate of Chico C. Hammett. They all agreed when looking at each other to keep quiet. I think it's coming from the lounge. Mary Jane pointed to the main living room where the kitchen was located nearby. All of the girls and Kana crept their way towards the lounge of the girls' dorms, and when they peeked around the corner, lo and behold, there was Naruto cooking pancakes and waffles. There were even plates of scrambled eggs and crispy bacon, along with toast, muffins, fruit, each having a glass of milk and orange juice. Who would have thought that the girls would be given royal treatment to breakfast early in the morning? The young man smiled before turning off the heat, with his magic as he was using it as its source from the start. Yash, all done. He nodded to himself, before going to the kitchen sink to wash his hands. After drying his hands with a clean towel, he called out with a loud voice, "Hey, holy mother of Luca!" The young former rave master stated with a surprised yell as the girls were already behind him, thankfully at the table and not in the kitchen. Sorry, kiddo. Couldn't help but wake up to the smell. Kana grinned widely, mostly at the amount of food. Why, you're all up already? Naruto stuttered before trying to recollect himself. This is why he made the food. I wanted to apologize for leaving here because of the party. The girls all looked at each other, slight surprised. The bikini-wearing women wink at her neighbor. Don't sweat it, cutie, we just thought we scared you. This made Naruto release breath of relief at that. Oh, thank you. So anyway, I made breakfast. I did some shopping yesterday. OHNO. What was that? Kana quickly questioned as she swore the oven behind Naruto moved slightly like it was animated. Nothing, he said, taking a step back to lean on it. Anyone need syrup? The blonde reached out a bottle of sweet sticky liquid. No. The girls nodded as they moved forward, and it turned, causing Naruto to move away to get away from the large group. The drunken woman pulled down the door and... Oh no! Gah! Kana sat on her behind as she saw a living melon with eyes and a mouth on it. The hell is that thing? Oh no, melon! The woman poked it as it jumped back, or at least it tried, as it was stuck between the metal shelf inside. Why does it keep saying that? She said, no longer frightened but just disturbed at the sight of it. The girls looked at the thing. It was a melon, watermelon to be exact. But it was no ordinary watermelon. Hey, I know those. A blue-haired girl said, pointing at it, before pulling out a book. Yup. Just as I suspected. That's a rare no melon. A what melon? Levi, what are you talking about? The drunken girl asked, confused, with a raised brow. It's one of the most delectable pieces of fruit in all of Symphonia. The kingdom that was torn apart by criminals and hatred until the king, Lucia Rare Groove, return and save it? I heard that they produce a lot of stuff that many counties, including ours, allow trading to happen with low taxes for shipments. Basically, Rare Groove has been doing extremely well from what it was once. The blue-haired girl stated, not seeing Naruto smiling at her for saying that. But why is it here though? No, the better question is, why is it speaking and blinking? Kana jabbed her thumb at the thing as it did blink before saying oh no, but more calm than before. She then looked to the boy. Did you have something to do with this, Naruto? Yeah, I was going to make a fruit bowl with it, he said as the fruit started to sweat as it heard that, as it shivered in its spot. But I thought about drilling a hole to collect the juice instead, or maybe freezing then smashing a hammer on it for makeshift ice for drinks. Oh no! It said, struggling until it popped out of the oven and bounced to the table, thankfully not messing up the food. No. It repeated before flinging itself towards an open window. Oh no, it said, turning back. It realized one thing, the floor they were in was on the second floor. Oh no! Splat! Ah man! Naruto rushed to see the horrifying remains of the fruit on the patio. Why do they tend to be suicidal when I get them? He questioned softly, as the swordsman never understood why they kill themselves when he wasn't looking. 100 jewels down the drain again. I mean, you technically were going to kill it to eat. The blue-haired girl pointed out. It deserved to die, Levi. Kana said, still grossed out on talking fruits. Amen to that. Naruto agreed before sighing. Quick question, are there any jobs near Symphonia? I don't see why there shouldn't be any. Why? Kana asked. Because I need to get more no melons, fresh as they tend to dry out when taken out of the desert. He then raises a finger. Yes, I know the oddity in that reason, but it's talking fruit. None of the girls questioned him as the answer pretty much was convincing. You've got to be kidding me, Kana deadpanned with a sweat drop. Why? Naruto turned back to look at them. Thump thump. Nearly all the women blushed as the way the morning light glistened on his body. He actually looked more like a prince than his androgynous looks usually does. Because I wanted to eat one with you all, he scratched his cheek in slight embarrassment. Zoop! Kana grabbed his hands, totally missing his somewhat comical horrified look. Then let's go, she said, far too engrossed in her sudden flare of hormones taking over her mind. Yeah? The other girls looked shocked at their guildmate. Levi then came up from behind her. Kana, the kingdom of Rare Groove are in desert locations, and the Queen limits drinking for adults by age. That means they have to drink responsible to the point it's even enforced. You'll never make it. You can't go a day without downing a barrel. So? What do you mean so? The blue-haired girl said in astonished. She remembers Kana nearly binge drinking enough to kill herself when being stuck in the desert last month. So, I'm going either way. And I'll be damned if I fail this as a member of Fairy Tale. You so want to get into his pants. A green-haired older woman said before taking a plate and getting breakfast started. I got to work with Zach later, so I'll be eating first. Ah. No, fair bisca. I got dibs on those pancakes first. Kana protested as she darted for her plate and shoved her aside unceremoniously. First dibs. Naruto just watches as the women ate his food with great pleasure, before pulling out a pocket watch. Well, another reason is he whispered to himself as the others didn't hear him. Was that Luca loved eating one every end of the month? Naruto fondly said before looking like the piece of fruit was still moving. Sweat dropping as he had forgotten, they can only stop moving when being cooked, so it was still in pain. Ehehe, I feel bad now. Oh no. Back in Konoha. Excuse me, a cloaked being went to the small wooden outpost near the large west gate of the wall. May I enter this place? The voice was light and airy, as a young teen would have. There was no answer at first, but then a voice from the other side replied, You may. Dude, stop trying to sound like Itachi, a Chunin said as his partner blushed at the sudden loss of his coolness. Shut up, Izumo. The cloaked figure took out a page before nodding. Okay, just 2 things and I'll leave here. Well, what is it? Izumo asked, taking the paper to look at it. A hank and papers? The kind shinobi uses if possible. The person asked as the two gave the cloaked figure a stern look. Sorry, those are only for our forces only. Any item that is bought without permission is forbidden. The other Chunin said as the person took a deep breath. Damn, well, is everything in order? The figure said as the 2 Chunin looks at the paper before falling over as snoring came. Have a good nap. Soon the person pats their heads kindly, as they enter the village. Gotta find those spots. The hooded person smiles before she was suddenly turned around to see an incoming fist. And hit the floor, quickly losing consciousness. All in all, the plan was working. Fairy Tale Guildhall. Ah, oh no, melon gathering. Naruto smiled as he got what he wanted before sighing, but it's at the Kingdom of Rare Groove. He said with a groan, I really don't want to visit there now, she's going to kill me. He then looked to his small pouch of candy and picked one out. What's today going to be like? He said before popping into his mouth and chewed on it. Sour, just my luck. He took out a sour piece of gum and stick to the paper. Hold on, Naruto. Makarov said from the bar as he uses 2 of his fingers to make Naruto come over to where he was. As soon as the blonde did so, he resumed speaking. You're going to take some of the members with you. May I ask why? Naruto asked in return as he seems to do a perfect job last time. Granted, he escaped before the woman can make him and her do the naughty nighttime tango. But the only thing that was ruined was his outfit, thank the rave stones that he had spares. You're not quite ready to go on missions on your own. You need to be an S-rank mage if you are to survive by yourself. Makarov explained. Please understand. The last thing we need is something happening to you and not returning for such a long time. Naruto gave him a stare as he placed a hand on his hips, not realizing some girls were checking his ass out when he did so. Makarov finally sighed. Okay, I want you to teach them not to create chaos. You are the only one, to not destroy anything. I already have enough complaints with the Magic Council as it is. So take Elfman and Kana with you. I'll pay double, he cried out weakly, only for Naruto to raise his eyebrow to say and free food here for the next week? Make it 2 and add desserts, then it's a deal. Deal. You have it, Makarov said before sighing. At least he's better behaved than Natsu, he thought. Elfman. Kana. Get over here. Yes? The dark-skinned man said, leaping over to the 2 were at, as did Kana, dragging a barrel of her favorite wine. What's up, master? Elfman said as he saw the man gesture Naruto. You will accompany Naruto to Rare Groove Deserts, he said, showing the job's paper. A standard water, oh no melon that. Makarov rolled his eyes at Naruto's nitpicking nature, gathering, but I fear that one person shouldn't go by themselves for the desert and another for those melons are tricky to catch, so don't try anything drastic. Yes. Elfman roared as he gave a manly smile to the smaller elderly man. I shall help my fellow and weaker guildmate. Just for the record, I can bench press 200 WHOA. Naruto shouted as Elfman grabbed him and Kana to rush out of the guild hall, all the while making Naruto cry waterfall tears on his body being easily pushed around. That was not fair, man. Soon enough, Naruto was talking to the mail ticket buyers as he bowed. Thank you very much, he brightly said to head to his 2 teammates with their tickets. We gotta head to the edge of the nearest port before taking a short trip by boat to reach the corner of the desert. Naruto explained the situation as Kana whined loudly at the length of the trip. But Naruto tilts his head to give a charming smile. But guess who got the first class? He said, showing them their tickets were high class. Oh Naruto, you shouldn't have. Kana smiled. It's just a few thousand jewels. Naruto said simply, as if Kana's flirtation wasn't even on his radar. Then again, I feel responsible for you two coming, so I wanted to at least lessen my guilt. He truthfully stated as the two looked surprised at his words. Oops, did I say too much again? Bad habit, the rave master admits, as the two smiled and pat his back to push him in the train cart. Be a man and enjoy your company. Elfman loudly boasted as they enter a rather luxurious-looking room, as if it was a hotel than a part of a train. Dang, this place makes any place look manly. It's just a room nonetheless. Naruto waved off before heading to an honor bar, and pulled some drinks, mostly sodas and few beers for Kana. Besides, we're not staying here long. Oh come on, I want to drink all the good stuff here. Kana whined. Are you paying for the overpriced stuff? No, but you get what you get. Naruto warned the drinker as she paled and was slightly aroused by his commanding tone, if she had to be honest. I hate spending on things I can get for cheaper. Not even one? She begged with a quivering lower lip, along with making her large and glistening with tears. No. Naruto deadpanned while passing her a cheap beer nonetheless. While we are discussing prices, we have to get at least 20 of the melons. Anything else is bonuses or for us to keep K. How much jewels are they per melon? Elfman raised an eyebrow, as Kana starting to drink the contents of the can beer she was handed. I spent 100 just on one, but this is fresh as possible. The way to harvest them, Naruto answered. So 20 of them would be worth 200,000 jewels each. Hearing this, the woman's eyes shot open as she spat out a strong stream of dark-colored liquid at Naruto. PFFFFT. Seriously? She asked, wiping a small trail of the alcoholic beverage that spilled from her mouth. Elfman glared at Naruto, who brought up the sword that somehow reflected the drink at him. Are they? Yeah, I'm not joking. They're that good. Naruto answered. You see, the melons have a rare condition like cacti can absorb water for. As he continues this, Kana and Elfman talk to each other. My god, 200,000 jewels can get me 100 barrels of all the purple gold I can get. Kana exclaimed. But are they dangerous? Elfman said as Naruto paled and looked away with some shame. Not dangerous, just you'll know when we see them. Naruto sighed as the train started to move, and thus their job. Konoha, Ichiraku ramen. Is that how your family greet outsiders? The cloaked person rubbed their cheek from the stinging sensation. Look, I said I was sorry. Kushina sighed, before slurping her noodles. I thought you were someone I knew. You smell like him. She whispered before drinking some broth to hide her comical shifty eyes. Well, anyway, I was looking for a place to learn about this place. The person said as they smelled the next bowl of ramen that arrived and nodded, seemingly pleased by it. Smells nice. Tucci is the best ramen chef around. You'd find no other person like him. Kushina answered. But as for you accommodations, I suppose I can pull a few strings. She said, bowing her head to apologize for her mistake. Not really staying here, just a day. I tend to die if left in one spot. The person chuckled, stretching the back of their neck. I'm sorry? Kushina looked at the cloaked person incredulously. I was kidding, I just don't like staying somewhere. I need to find me. Sorry, never mind that. But this is very important. Someone is waiting for me. Someone I love. The person looked at their noodles with a warm smile as the broth reflected the face of the cloaked figure. I see. Kushina nodded. Well, I do hope you find them. Can I help in any way? Well, first off, I was hoping to know the nearest port within walking distance. And maybe have a friend to take me? The person said, taking off the hood to finally show the features to the wife of the first female Hokage. Kushina's eyes widened. The person under the cloak was female and beautiful. Who was she? The woman must be younger than her, as there were no sags in any corner of her face, and shoulders that were deliciously bare. Those light yet shiny amethyst-colored eyes that held strong yet kind power behind them, creamy unblemished skin that would make even the most perfect marble pale in comparison to its shine and perfection, and her hair short yet enough to drape the back of her nape. My name is Rare Groove, she said with a wide smile to lift her hand, and an unknowing force made Kushina gently held to kiss the limb no matter who saw her doing that. She and her wife have an open marriage with other women ever since their son was missing, but this woman made each one pale in comparison for some reason. This took Kushina aback as she blushed. It's she managed to say. No words were coming out of her mouth. This girl was the personification of beauty. Come now, she leaned forward with a smile that made the red-haired woman's heart skip a beat. Will you come away with me? Line break. Thanks, Jose. Naruto waved to a dark-skinned man as his boat left. Tell Maria I love her cookies as always. Si, senor. Yes, the man started until they couldn't hear him anymore. Did anyone understood what he said? Naruto weakly asked, as he was the only one speaking to the man in some unknown language, as the other two members shrugged. Who cares? We're here to find those no melons, right? Elfman said, punching his fist. So let's find them. Nope, it's near the kingdom. The closest oasis there is still a few miles off. Naruto passed the water? It wasn't weird, but the fact was that they held up the water like cloaks. Aqua cloaks, they make the users feel no water and no loss of dehydration. You just keep these in your pants? Kana said as Elfman already done it, as the water seemed to vanish when it was fitted right. No, he looked at a nearby box that had an odd symbol on it. Just a loan from the boatman. I call BS, Elfman deadpanned. Call it what it is, he said before moving ahead. Let's go. The three did move on. Kana for one was surprised that the heat was non-existent to them as they just walked as if nothing was burning them. So is this kingdom still bad? She asked as they moved up on a dune. No, Edahem the queen is a kind ruler. When her daughter passed away, she lost some of her public strolls to stay in her castle. Naruto explained as he slid down the sand with glee. That is not fun. He chuckled at the childish action. You seem to know her, Elfman said before also doing that, and agreed it was pretty fun. Note on a personal level. In fact, most of the land until you get near the islands between Fiori and here, and the other side of the desert where the kingdom of Symphonia is, she almost the most well-loved ruler. Naruto trailed off, robotically as possible. Oh shit, Naruto looked away as they saw people coming before diving into the dune. Crash. Seriously? There's a window in one of the sand dunes? Naruto screamed / muffled into his hiding place as the fairy tale member's eye twitched at his luck with the deadpan. I'm getting worried now, Kana muttered. The two watched as a large armored night lizard, a giant one, stride towards them. Ave, honor to meet you in the sands of Grove. The man greeted the two mages. Might you two be from Fiori? What's it to you? Elfman asked, cracking his knuckles. You should be aware today is the festival. He raised his blade dramatically. And we welcome you all. So please join us. He winked cutely. Black. Elfman turns back and releases his stomach contacts from the horror show of a masculine man doing a cutesy pose. While Kana just stares into nothing from the soulless eyes she had. That was disturbing, so no. Fair enough, he said, trying not sound hurt as his other comrades had stifled chuckles. The knight gave a kind smile before waving his arm to gesture the sandy area. Well, be careful, we have lots of squads looking for this young man for some time now. He showed them missing poster of a young man that made Kana jaw drop. Handsome man, ain't he? The queen's missing son, be sure to find him when you can. The knights were gone as Naruto crawled out of the sand covered in glass shards. This is gonna take a while, he said, gingerly, pulling out a glass shard one by one. Ow. Why? Elfman asked, not at all pleased that Naruto might be a criminal. If he explains the reason, it would be fine. That the crime was small, knowing most of the guild had bigger crimes like Kana billing a magic council member with her drinking tabs. And Natsu constantly destroys more things than actual natural disasters. I stole a sweet roll. Those guys are relentless even though it's been years, Naruto gasped out as he popped the remaining shards of glass at once. Dusting himself off, he gave a weak smile. Seriously, one sweet roll. Elfman, however, looked at the knights retreating into the horizon. They said the knights have been patrolling for a while, right? He then turned his head to Naruto. Mind letting us know why? The blonde sighed as he pointed to the location they will still head. I shall explain. With that, they walked to a smaller pace than before as Naruto aqua cloak turned more solid to cover his face. Around this area, the knights take any and all crime doings to the castle. The queen makes the punishments. All? Kana stated as the duty seemed redundant. Not untrue, Naruto chuckled as they saw the gates of the castle. We go past here and we should reach our area. So where was I? Right, it was like that and punishment went down. Elfman nodded solemnly at that. A man must make a tough choice. Ha! The two looked at Naruto, who laughed at that. Let's come to this festival, you'll see for yourself, he said as the rave master pulled out his sword. Wait, he said as the two other members of his guild watched him trace a line. Damn, already this time of year? What's wrong? Elfman walked up to the line. A trap? No problem, as well, whatever, he said, standing up, giving them a thumbs up. No worries, over this sand dune is our objective, Naruto said as he pointed towards the large obstacle in their way. There they saw the largest amounts of blue-colored rocks on top held the melons they seek, some smiling and others sleeping, giving disease in their eyes. Naruto smiled as he was going to get a great payday. Kana smiled as she was going to have good payday to have fun with the cutie she was hoping to spend time with. Elfman frowned as he hoped to have a challenge this time around. Thanks so much for coming along, you were a funny person to hang out, Lady Kushina. The woman that Kushina was tagging along with for days kindly said to her. They were on the quickest ship towards the woman's destination. At first Kushina wanted to get into her pants, but not she really liked her as a close friend and still hoped to get into her pants. It's nothing, really. But I had tons of fun, so it made my day. She smiled brightly. Well, days technically, the silver-haired woman pointed out, as they have been together for a while. Don't you work as a shinobi or have a family? She said, realizing the fact that her friend wasn't an airhead and knew what responsibilities are. Both, in fact. Kushina answered. It's difficult to maintain that kind of balance between those two. The woman nodded with slight forlorn in her eyes. I know, but sometimes you wish you can still have that difficult than none. I suppose. The silver-haired woman said. Kushina looked at her friend, wondering if prying into her personal life was really appropriate for her, since they only met for a few days. But she watched as the silver-haired woman grabs onto the railing, then places her elbows to grab her chin. Sigh, my son is missing. The woman said, looking at the ocean that they'd been staring for hours. I think he hates himself. She started to continue, her pupils looking downward for a quick moment, no longer registering Kushina. All because I was too stubborn to visit my daughter, who left without as much as a goodbye. The woman softly whispered as Kushina couldn't help but place a hand on her new friend's own. I'm sorry to hear that, Kushina said. I'm sure if anything, he still loves you and your family. I don't doubt that. But I worry for him. He's my son in all but blood, the woman said before looking at the red-haired woman. What about you? Got a small family like me, or your husband can't keep it in his pants? Kushina blushed before huffing. I am not straight. I am happily married to a wonderful girlish woman that is my wife, she said, ignoring how oddly hollow that sounded to her. Pfft. Seriously? I thought you'd be beating your man with stick dash? Wait a minute, if you're married and your wife is a girl, duh on that part. Then why do you have children? The woman placed her hands on her hips, before paling as Kushina got a dark smile on her face before whispering something to the silver-haired woman. In 3 seconds the woman's face became slightly red. In the next 5 seconds, she lost her composure and looked startled as she quivered at Kushina's detailed explanation. And the last 5 seconds, which felt 5 hours, made the woman totally red as Kushina friend's oldest daughter when she meets with her son. It was kinda cute to see a proud and honest woman become so baffled in a moment from her telling her little jutsu that she and Minako made to have fun. Why, you actually? The silver-haired woman felt numb, and was about to faint right then and there. I bet the entire village had a massive bloodbath. Well, the males in the shinobi and civilian councils did. Kushina gave a smug smile about that little victory. Even Danzo couldn't help but cover his nose. But yeah, we were going at it. We find every excuse to do it. Angry sex, makeup sex, afternoon sex, sleeping sex, you name it. And we got so many daughters because of it, 3 sets of twins. 3 sets. The silver-haired woman gawked. Yup, barely a month after we got married we got our first set of twins. Keed and Ruka, then we made sure not to keep it in when she cream pies Kushina. Right, sorry. The red-haired woman raised her hands when the other woman pulled out an axe to keep her silent. We got our other 2 girls, Suri and Suki, next, as she stopped short as the fact that her missing son still brought back some bitter memories. The next girls are my youngest, Miyuki and Shiki. They just started on becoming chunin, she said as she explained the system of ranking to her friend. Wow, big family and no males. The woman giggled at the thought of an all-female family. My husband would have run from the hills. He could barely handle me and Luca by himself. Oh, you're married, Kushina said as she went cold. Crap, she was going to seduce a married woman. Actually no, I am a widow. My husband passed away before my daughter, so I am alone, she said, not once sounding weak or saddened by her words. I know the 2 would slap my cheeks and told me to buck up. I see. They must love you a great deal. They did. The silver-haired woman smiled softly. Although not as much as your wife. How are you not in a wheelchair popping out all those little tykes? The woman teased Kushina, who blushed as she playfully punched her new friend. Oh, stop. It's going to be your turn. Wait, what? Okay, so that's going to be more money than I need, Naruto said as he looked behind himself to see dozens of the melons following him and his friends. How the hell did you get them to follow you? Kana said, astonished by the number. Oh wow. The 2 smiled weakly as some of the melons weren't bouncing like the rest, rolled gently to keep Elfman's slumped body from not moving so much. I didn't think I would lose to fruit. This is why I told people not to mess with these things. They gang up on you if they see hostile forces, Naruto chided, lighting at the man who started to attack the melons only to be pelleted down by them, leading his defeat. The 3 saw the gates of the rare groove. Naruto took a breath as they reached the closest guardsman. Halt, he said, turning to the Fiori group, showing them he was blindfolded, earning a sigh of relief from Naruto. Identify yourselves. Oh, we're from Fairy Tail, it's a Gildan. Fiori, yes, we once had others came here from your country, the guardsman said. Despite interrupting Kana, he still had a tone of respect. The card user nodded as she took out a piece of paper. Not sure if you can read this, but it's fine, I can use magic to feel the words, the man said as Kana passed him the paper, and nodded, watching his finger glow as he touched the paper. The oh no melon, how many do you have? About 50. Elfman said, getting up from his spot as the guardsman shuffled his feet in slight worry. We only got enough payment for 40 melons, oh hold on. He said, taking out 3 cards. Most of the guards were given this as a fun pastime, but sadly I can't really enjoy them. Given this, he pointed to his blindfold, these allow you to go the festival we're having free of charge and even get you to see the big dance this year. Dance? Kana said as the man nodded. Yeah, a lucky girl gets to dance this religious mumbo-jumbo stuff. But the tourists eat the stuff up. This year's cutie is going to blow some minds, I heard. Kana smiled as she took the cards. So can you get the money ready for us when the festival is up? Can do, ma'am. He saluted as the woman moved ahead, as did Elfman, but the last one looked down before following them. He didn't really plan on coming this early. Whoa! Kana's eyes sparkled as she saw the city bustling with life and people. Stalls of food and games were playing all around them. Free drinks. Free drinks. Courtesy of our queen. The woman couldn't react fast enough to grab a mug that the person was holding, before smelling its contents with a satisfied moan of pleasure. Wine. She muttered before sip. Hey. She looked into the mug to see it was all gone. Haha, look at the newbie. A man on the streets with a red flush said, hey, you gotta keep yourself calm, otherwise you can't remember you drank it. Kana smiled as she had remnants of the booze she had, and it was good, and that was the aftertaste. Before she was about to get another one, she saw Naruto getting one and passing it to her. Here. The woman blushed as his sincere-looking eyes meeting hers. Thanks, she muttered, oddly meek to meet his gaze. But soon lost that thought as the sweet yet savory drink was flowing down her throat. Damn, this is so good. A cute boy, a great drink, and lively atmosphere. What more can she want? We got a problem. The two watched as they say a knight screaming in the middle of the street. The dancer was injured, so we are unable to do that dance this year. We are so sorry, everyone, the person announced before loud cries of disappointment came, as well as Naruto, who also sighed in a sad manner. Man, I was kinda hoping to see one more dance. I always loved watching the dancer doing the modern magic effect work. Naruto said as Kana nodded before remembering something. Naruto did have a rather odd way of moving when getting those melons. Then an evil yet smart idea came into her head. Naruto hat dress size, are you? The male eyes widened in horror before he could stop his brain from speaking. Size. No way. Kusha said as they finally docked in the nearest land possible. You mean that you live here? She pointed at the sandy area all around them. That's so dumb. Hey, I don't literally live in the sand. I got a place nearby. She said, pointing behind her back on where her life was usually at. Anyway, I hope we can meet up again, Miss Huh. Wow, for a week I did not ask for your last name. Wow, she said with a slight blush on her face, or give you my name. Hee, it's quite alright. Kusha assured. I suppose when you're hanging out for so long, you forget about everything else. Well, anyway, tell your full name and I will tell you mine. She said, scratching the back of her head. It's kinda how things work here in the western side of the world. Well, it's Kushina Uzumaki. She said, making sure to use her first name. Uzumaki? The woman said, taking a step back from the red-haired woman. What is it? Did I say something wrong? You said your name is Kushina Uzumaki? Her eyes back like steel, almost ready to pierce Kushina's head if needed to be. She turns around and spoke. Never come near me again. She orders before moving to the desert. Wait, what? Kushina jumped back at the last second, pulling a kunai when she saw a red flash, to see a large area of the sand turn to glass. Hey, I thought we were friends. She said, getting angry that the girl she wanted to sleep, then befriended due to their little trip, became so aggressive until she saw tears in her eyes. You hurt my son, I won't let you ever near him again. I swear on the name Rare Groove. She said before running towards the sandy wasteland as Kushina only could reach her, until she was out of sight. What just happened? Kushina said, wondering. She stopped before her head unconsciously tilted toward where the woman was heading. Until a shadow appeared next to her, as her head felt clearer. My mind is muddy. I really hope she can explain to me what has happened. She said before looking at the shipowner. Hey, that desert, it has a town or village, right? She asked, knowing that the woman was heading to a place of civilization. The man nodded. Yes, the kingdom of Rare Groove. It's not too far if you lightly dressed and prepared. I reckon that woman knows her way around, as she has been asking me for rides since her son was missing. The sailor stated as Kushina nodded, before quickly taking out some paper in case she had to summon her allies to tell Minako of emergencies. Can you find a way to mail this to her? I want to apologize for what I did wrong. Of course, the shipowner said, taking the paper. Is there anything else you want me to do while you're here? No, I guess just take me back home. She kindly requested as the man began to adjust everything for the trip. Kushina once again turned back in the direction where the woman was heading, but it felt like something else was there. Someone she needs to be with. Kushina lately notice, for some unknown reason, stop whatever she is doing at that time and looks at one specific direction for several minutes with a glazed over look in her eyes before snapping out of it. Minako had questioned her about it, but Kushina would always answer that she herself doesn't know why she does it. At first, this instinct within Kushina was dormant since her original home village, Yuzushiogakure, was destroyed and every Uzumaki male within it was killed. When Kushina married Minako and later gave birth to Naruto, her Uzumaki mating instinct began to slowly awaken since a male with some Uzumaki blood in him was present, but now that he is gone, the instinct has fully awakened and is demanding Kushina to find him. What Kushina will most likely never realize is that the reason she sometimes looks at one specific direction for several minutes is because her instinct is telling her that she can find Naruto in that direction. "Naruto, are you there?" she said longingly until the shadow returned as an eye was now visible, glaring into Kushina's backside as the woman's face of longing turned into a bitter one instead. "I will drag you back. The next time I see you," she growled, turned back to barely miss the shadow as it single seemed to be pleased with the result. Kana and Elfman mouths dropped from watching Naruto walk towards them, inside the stage where the curtains hide in the back. "Okay, if I had you now then you before you wore that. We would have to take a week in a hotel before we get back home," she suggested as Elfman didn't register it, "cause you are really clicking all my buttons in the best way possible." I didn't need to hear that. Naruto blushed, his right hand clutching his left arm from the embarrassment from his guildmate words. "It's humiliating enough as it is." "Hey, you are saving this festival," a woman said, entering the three's conversation by using a pair of crutches to walk, as her left leg was covered in bandages. "And surprised that your girlfriend is my size and even cuter than I." She nodded to Kana, who gave her a thumbs up while Naruto had a comical wait that said girlfriend hitting his head. "Thanks, she is too shy to see it sometimes." The drinker giggled fairly while Elfman pats his fellow man's back. It wasn't the manliest thing to wear a dress, but it was manly to put his pride aside to keep this festival going. "It's okay, buddy, you're on the path to manhood. It builds character." "Thanks for the vote of confidence," Naruto sighed heavily. His dignity be damned, but as soon as he'll fuck, I am going to cross-dress in front of the whole kingdom again. He added that tidbit to a low whisper. Thankfully neither of his friends heard that. "Why are you caring about that? I mean, you're not going to come back here," Kana said as she started to comb his hair for the hairstyle that was needed for the dance. "Look, everything is going to be okay, alright?" she said, moving her head next to his to let him see her smile. Which comforted him until 3 seconds later that he realized that Kana was near him, and he started to shake in fear from his fear of women. "I am sorry, please don't touch me," Naruto said, moving away from her. "Okay, just let me use the comb to lengthen your hair spiky or straight," Naruto said, as he needed to distance himself as much as possible. As Kana soon used a little amount of magic to allow Naruto's hair to come out the way he wanted it to. She tapped his shoulder as soon cheers were chanting dance. Dance? Dance? Outside of the curtain. Okay, so he turned to the injured dancer with a blush on his face. Was it light or dark this year? Light. Naruto nodded before placing 2 fingers on his throat. With each small sound he made, it became more feminine and realistic before nodding. "Take your seats," he ordered as his voice was the perfect mixture of royalty and mysterious that only captivates their hearts. He didn't care to hear their responses as he sighed when he saw the curtains parted and risen to the ceiling. "Alright, you got this. Let's just get this over with and go home," Naruto thought to himself. Soon he heard the band starting the music and soon let everything go. "Hey Captain, you wouldn't believe what they were serving." An armored knight talked to one of the people that meet with the odd trio from Fiori, holding a plate of tacos. Before the lights that came from the walls for spotting suspects to hit the stage. The dance is happening. They all saw a young girl. The captain eyes tense before looking at the man. "Let the squad surrounded the back of the stage and get me one of those," he said greedily. Take the food from his fellow ally. The captain watched the boy with long straight blonde hair that flared out behind her with some pulled to the sides and tied off at the ends. The shorter layers dipped between his eyes and to the sides of his face. A band settles atop of the boy's head with a white veil extending down to his shoulder blades. Also, a single baby blue ribbon is cinched about his waist with the tails fluttering down to her knees. Only one leg donned white stocking while the other has golden accessories clasped about her thigh and ankle. Damn, Luca got nothing on him. The captain chuckled at that sight he beholds before deadpanning as many males and females were blushing at the sight. If only they knew. In the white light, Naruto started to sing angelically as the whole audience went silent to hear that perfect voice, his right arm raising up towards the sky. A hand reaches through his left, now opposite to where it stood, but in a swift instant that small trails of black and white motes of magic started to float like oil in water. Fluid yet never fading away. A double-edged blade cuts your heart in two. Soon he began to slowly move his arm around, creating more of the dual-colored energies, soon spinning in place as singing continued without a single mistake. Waking dreams fade away, embrace the brand new day. He took a step forward, spinning once more, as he knew it was time for the big moment. shifting the energies to move in front of him before walking towards it to cover him in mesmerizing sparkles. He smiled as the whole kingdom and his team was in awe of his dancing. Sing with me. His voice boomed out as energy started to take form, of another woman, but the shape was very familiar to many, from the dress to the hairstyle. Naruto leaned forward, as did the shape, to gently grasp each other's hand, and both sang out the next line. A song of birthrights and love, the light shatters to the skies above. The two spun and soon started to float into the air, as the duo began to shift around each other, gently mimicking each other's movements while gazing lovingly at each other. Dawn breaks through the gloom, white as a bone. As the two separate from each other's holds, the whole sky was flooded with blue flames as Naruto floated down as the other shape was ascending to the heavens. Lost in thoughts, all alone. Soon, when his feet touched the ground, he fell to his knees, eyes glistening from the song and the subtle pain of what he did. As the song pans out, "Holy hell, that was perfect!" Kana shouted at the whole experience, and soon was followed with dozens of agreeing on voices. "Encore, encore, encore!" she chanted before everyone else also joined in, but "Dark, dark, dark!" Naruto blushed, as he didn't want to perform that well before nodding, looking at the band and making a circle with his finger. He had to do it or else the mood will be a ruin. Soon he heard the band's tiny sets of drums being played expertly before smilingly, but in a very dark sense. Kana's heart nearly leaped from her heart from watching Naruto's gentle act becoming sensually, given his smile that made her resist the urge to lick her lips, watching his shoulders roll with each beat. As he raised his hands, this time to frame his face, and his voice moaned out the words. "Embrace the dark you call a home." He tore apart his hands quickly as he started the song, before moving them around his body erotically before he stomped to each beat perfectly. Gaze upon an empty, white throne. With the last stomp, he used the energy of it to wiggle his legs to his whole body in the shake to captivate the audience, before winking at them. Then moved his hands to cross them to capture his face, as the energies, this time in gray, were moving erratically from his fingertips. Then ripping them away once more to watch as the energies make another form. A strong and masculine teen holding a dark like a blade. A legacy of lies. He sang as the being was now attacking the energies that were about to attack Naruto, almost scaring the audience to scream before the gray energy being slashed down. He raised his hands as he cocking his hips in perfect timing with the beat once more. To end it, he brought them down together clockwise to make more enemies for the man to fight. A familiar disguise. He raised his hands as he cocking his hips in perfect timing with the beat once more. To end it, he brought them down together clockwise to make more enemies for the man to fight. Naruto gave a dark grin as his voice shook the whole world for his next line. Sing with me a song of conquest and fate. As the being was being swarmed with hundreds of enemies to battle, Naruto continued to dance his alluring ritual. Twisting and turning with every moment he got, rolling his hands to just create even more enemies to be destroyed. The black pillar cracks beneath its weight. A small bow to the audience before he shot his body upwards to show two symbols of what nearly took his life and happiness. A leaf and an odd symbol that had almost looked like Z's, before the blade of the energy being sliced them away. Night breaks through the day, hard as a stone. As the being fought the last of the enemies, the sky was once more aflame with gray fire this time. As it took seat with his sword on its shoulder, slumping before vanishing. While Naruto danced happily, moving his hands to his hips and turned once more. Lost in thoughts, all alone. As the music died down, he placed a single hand on his chest where the necklace the dancer gave him glowed brilliantly. He threw his hands up as he fell to his knees once again with a strangely satisfied smile. "We gotta leave right the fuck now," Naruto said, ripping the dress off the second the curtains hide him and scream of the people demanded more. "I am not doing the last song, it's impossible to hide this body any longer." "Sure," Kana muttered dumbly as she had little hearts coming from her head, "yeah. I think she's broken," Elfman said before smiling proudly at his friend. "Well, you stuck through it and gave them an encore. Like a man." "Yeah, whatever, let's just get the hell out of here," Naruto said until he heard the stage door opening to show dozens of rare groove knights flooding their escape. The group all stopped as the knights surrounded them. Well, thought you can escape from us, and Naruto?" the captain said before turning red when seeing the nearly nude Naruto and turning around. "Men, let him dress first." "Aye." Thankfully, he was already donning his clothes as he cleared his throat, knowing it was game over for him. "Damn, was sure to leave before I got caught," Naruto said as he watched as the man walks up to him. When reaching within arm's length, they stared into the eyes of each other. Sniff. "Oh no," Naruto balked in horror. "Damn it," taking a step back. "Okay, Alois, calm down," he pointed to the captain, a knight wearing bright white armor from head to toe. "Hey, mind moving out of the way?" Kana said, getting in front of Naruto, before the others all got near Naruto as well. She wasn't going to let them stop her plan on getting him a lot better with drinks if they sniff times 20. The two Fiori natives looked confused as the rest all did the same noise. noticing some were about to cry. Wah! Elfman and Kana stood there as 21 tough-looking men all cried and latched onto Naruto as if he was their missing family member. Why did you leave us? / did we hurt you? / we're sorry. Was all they heard as they dragged Naruto to the ground, almost eating him alive. The only part of Naruto they saw was a hand reaching for something before it made the thumbs up sign, as it was soon taken down too. Elfman? Kana said with a wide-eyed twitchy smile. Yeah? He asked as his eyes were overshadowed by his horror of watching this odd mission unfold. Let's never cause problems in Fairy Tail if it means less crazy moments like this, okay? Why yeah? All this for a fucking treat? Kana screamed out, liking a boy wasn't supposed to be this complicated. It was supposed to be something sweet, then a kiss on a cheek, and a few dates later him bending over her and giving the best night of her life. And now they were in the castle of Rare Groove after enjoying a rather nice festival and a great amount of jewels for their little mission. Waiting for the queen to show, and she was hoping to show the girls the pictures that she was able to buy after Naruto's singing and dancing. The three were kneeling down with the knights, 3 for Naruto and 1 for other Fairy Tail members, holding them in place with hands on their shoulders. Watching as dark-haired, not mention evil-looking, advisor talking to other knights in rage. How the hell did it come to this? Elfman grumbled. I'm sorry, Naruto said as Elfman shook his head. Don't worry, we'll get your name clear, but why did they want you? The man said before Kana smirked. Well, maybe the queen wanted to hit that. She said before the knight used more force, making her flinch in pain. Gay. Hey, lay off. Naruto ordered, surprising the fellow guildmates as the armored figure nodded and lessened his force on the drinker. The woman looked at the two before wondering why that happened. However, that was cut short as a dark growl escaped from the advisor's lips. Are you sure? A dark-haired man said, talking to one of the knights who just came into the palace. Ahem, the queen is late, so I shall pass down judgment. Ah, damn it, Naruto muttered as the man stood before him before gesturing his arms. Dude, no, please no, he said, closing his eyes as if about to experience the worst wedge in his life. This was not from fear but in the fact that he will have to live with the shame. I don't like it any more than you, Lord Naruto, but we both know if she was here. Well, let's get it on. Help the young lord up to his feet. The older man said as the knights, while still keeping their grips on Naruto, help up, stand up as the dark-haired man stepped forward, while ignoring Naruto's violent and comically head shaking. Please don't, come on, ah geez, you're hugging, he's hugging me. Hubert, please let go. Naruto harshly begged as the man gave him a gentle embrace as the Naruto's 2 allies nearly laughed at this stupid punishment. Glad to see you're actually getting used to my son Hubert. Naruto's eyes widened as he heard that lovely mature voice, almost a melody of perfected calmness, and lovingly tones in perfect unison. Kana's eyes widened in amazement when she saw the woman from behind the 2 males hugging each other, which she would ask Loki to use her would make her magic to try to recreate. To see a lovely woman with ivory silverish hair color, she had 2 long bangs that capture her face in perfect manner. The rest of hair cascaded downward like an ethereal waterfall. To match this, she wore a formal yet elegant ball gown that frames her body well. Her light lavender eyes filled with whimsy that watched 2 male embrace before Naruto kicked the older man's shins as fell downward. Whoa, who's that? Elfman got out. She was even prettier than his older sister. Did she just say son? Kana managed to say, wondering why the Queen of Rare Groove was addressing Naruto by that title. Naruto watched the woman to face stride towards him, with each step befitting of a queen. Gently, yet the pose she had showed that the royal woman wasn't weak. You are the ocean's gray waves, she sings softly as Naruto features became soft with a smile in the process. Queen Rare Groove, he crosses his right arm across his torso, before the woman grasped him. Not at all trigger his fear as he could feel her shaking. Something was wrong, she always hugs him to the point that the knights had to pull her away from him. I'm sorry, she whispered, hoping her mistakes didn't cause things to affect Naruto. What's wrong? Naruto asked. The woman pulled away to take notice of her daughter's best friend and honorary son. It's nothing but, she said, looking at the young man with a smirk, you and your friends are staying until you tell me what has happened since you woke up. The boy could only laugh nervously at that while Kana smiled at this. Bonus points if she can get the approval from his mother if that was really his mother. Elfman just stood there trying his best to look manly, as he had no idea on what to do. The queen, as she held her son, prayed that Kushina would never realize her son, Naruto, was at the country. She can only hope, but things always harm Naruto no matter what. You look happy, the queen stated with a soft smile, enjoying the blonde beautiful boy enjoying his new life with Fairy Tail. Naruto smiled at the kind praise as he copied her gesture. You look sad, he said, knowing that the woman that he knew for many years was in pain from body language. I'm sorry for hurting you. Chapter end. Chapter start. Kana's eyes widened as she saw Naruto sitting on a throne as dozens of people were bowing to him, his serious yet regal-looking Naruto smiling, dashing to her beside him wearing a lovely dress made for a queen. How the hell did this happen? 2 days ago, nighttime after meeting the Queen of Rare Groove. How the hell did this happen? Kana said to herself pathetically, cutting her steak that was on her plate. After the awkward moment of Naruto and Lady Rare Groove hugging, she asked them, Elfman and her, to have dinner with her son. Is something wrong with the food, miss? Hubert asked from behind, nearly scaring the living hell of the poor drinker, who shook her head vigorously in hopes to pull him away from her. Man, this steak is delicious. Elfman laughed happily as he was wolfing down a huge steak that was half his size. This is what I call a manly dinner. Kana never thought she wished to be simplistic as Natsu, Gray, or Elfman at this moment, as she watched what was in front of her. It was horrible. The Queen of the Kingdom of Rare Groove said kindly, holding a piece of steak on her fork, to a nervous Naruto. Please? It's your favorite, sirloin cooked in the finest herbs and spices we can gather, she softly convinced him, all for him to be fed, as this was her motherly duty to spoil him. Okay. I'll eat it. Naruto laughed nervously. Seiya, the older woman repeated as Kana clutched her silver spoon tightly. She felt it could stab her skin if it broke from her strength. This has been going on since their food arrived. Naruto was forced to sit next to the queen as she ignored her food in favor of feeding Naruto's his. After her cheeks slightly turned red at the cute sight of her son, Queen patted his head. I hope you like it. We have your favorite dessert as an occasion for you coming here. My favorite dessert? Naruto said, looking at the queen with disbelief. Why, you mean? Yes, dear, that dessert. The older woman smiled. Slam. Everyone watched as Kana suddenly slams her hands on the table before blushing at her outburst, quickly sitting down when her scene made all eyes gaze on her. You okay, Kana? Elfman asked with a raised eyebrow, stopping midway of eating his steak. I'm fine, totally fine. Kana looked down as she had her mouth sealed tight, trying to keep herself calm, not just from the scene, but the pain of slamming her hands. Rainbow Pudding, the queen smiled, waving her hands excitedly with Naruto smiling childlike. A warm light was flooding the room. Rainbow Pudding, Naruto cheered with his mother. Again Kana asked herself, how the hell did this happen? It's been years since the queen has last seen her son allow her this selfish desire of loving her son in all but blood. Hubert said behind, in a low and sad tone. It's been that long? Kana asked the right-hand servant. The man only went silent, making the woman sigh and watch the two continue, but smiles to see Naruto, who seemed a bit high-strung, finally loosen up. I thought he was afraid of girls for a while. Gay Hubert nearly lost his computer before shaking his head, and not at all. As you can see, he can get along with them. Rainbow Pudding, ma'am. A handsome butler came by with two maids holding a tray of was that pudding shining an aura of rainbow light? Thank you, Jacob. Please bring one to everyone. Only one for me and Naruto to share. The queen stated sweetly, quickly eating her meal in less than a few seconds. That was fast. Kana and Elfman cried out in shock, their eyes bulging out at the unsightly sight of the queen eating everything in one bite. Excuse me, but a mother must eat after making sure her child has been fed. The woman declared before smiling at the two. By the by, who are you two again? Dong. The two somehow fell backwards on their chairs when realizing she had no idea she invited strangers to dinner. We're Naruto's guildmates. Kana screamed as her plate of shining dessert came. Thanks, she said quickly as the queen was about to feed Naruto before nodding. I see, she said with a slight sad look. Well, take care of him. Hi's ma'am, this was weird. Usually, this would make Kana fight with the woman, but she felt oddly pleased she wanted to take care of Naruto. Right, Elf, well, why are you crying? This pudding. It's so-so, Elfman sobbed. It's so delicious. Oh yeah, right, it's. As soon as she places that spoonful of pudding in her mouth, Kana pulls it out from her oral cavity, and says these words with the most sincere tone in her life. Never before I will say this, but this stuff beats my booze any day of the week. Wah wah. It's so good. Elfman wailed out tears of joy. The flavor changes 4 times in my mouth. The condensed mangoes are so sweet. The tartness makes lemons or kiwis cry. And the chestnut, OHH, the chestnut. Naruto said as the queen continuously fed him, smiling forevermore, spending time with him as the maids and butlers all dabbed their eyes on the glorious scene before them. Body slam! Elfman yelled, jumping into the air to slam his whole being to a tower of pillows that was beneath him. That was so cool. Kana gaped at the size of the room that was Naruto, and for tonight the other 2 members of his guild, this is not normal. His room was about the same size as the main hall that they were in when meeting the queen for the first time. Sorry, I know this is gonna take time to get used to. Naruto chuckled weakly with a sweat drop. She took a whole training room and made this. This is a training room? Kana looked at Naruto agape. That's too bad. I would have been in it for hours working my muscles and show how manly I am. Elfman declared, showing off his muscles with a macho grin on his face. Well, it actually was a training room like 8 or 9 years ago. Naruto smiled as Kana giggled. So you started training at what? You're 17 or 18? No, I'm 25. Thud. Our Elfman hit his mark when Naruto's words made him unable to focus on another body slam. I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Did you say 25, 2 to 5? Kana said before shaking her head. No, that's a joke. I mean, you look younger than me. The blonde's eyes became soft and nodded. I'm not lying. I'm really that old. How? Elfman said as Naruto looked at the sky. I was going to die, Luca. He took a deep breath. You saw that wanted poster of me yesterday? The tough and manly looking guy? Yeah, Elfman nodded. But then he thought about it for a moment, before his eyes went wide. Wait, that's you. Yep. Naruto blushed as Kana compared the two in her mind. Standing before her was the picture-perfect Bishounen type boy, but soon another Naruto appeared. Slightly taller with more muscles like that of a legendary hero like his father Haru, a more defined face than a girlish one. That was when I was 14, I believe last time I was here with Luca before it happened, he said before pointing at himself. And before I got this way. How? The two said comically confused, but stopped as they saw misty eyes. It's a long story. One that I don't tell often. Naruto trailed off. Lord Uzumaki, Hubert came from between them, rising from their collective shadows. The queen wishes for you not to relive those experiences. Before looking at the two others with eyes that clearly show how much disgust he had for them. Hubert, as the current heir of the kingdom, leave us and don't come back until I tell you. He said, eyes become hard like steel but cold like ice. I am an adult, and when and hopefully never, when the queen passes on, I shall have some power to even make you, her advisor, not get in my way. The man looked surprised as a dark laugh came and a soft nod came before the tea man before him. As you wish, my prince, as for you too. His eyes became full of disgust as he turned to them. Never speak of this again when he tells you. With that he slowly sank into nothingness as Kana looked at the spot. He does that often? She asked, hoping not to keep one eye open tonight. Not really, only when he thinks it's fine. Naruto sighed. Don't worry though, he'll never bother you like that again. I'll say. The hairs on the back of my neck were standing on end whenever I'm near that guy. Elfman shuddered. Still, the reason I am like this is because I nearly died when I was 15, about 15 years ago. Naruto declared as the two stopped their antics to hear his story. Me and Luca, we were determined to make a guild. To him he stopped as a small chuckle escaped his lips. Find justice and love, to correct the wrongs that Luca's father, Lucia, did. We ran away from this kingdom against her mother's wishes, and those were the best in my life. To this I wish that she didn't do what she did. Naruto, you don't have to, Kana said sadly, but Naruto shook his head with a small smile. It's okay. Are you sure? I mean, if it's still painful, you can tell another time, when you're ready. Elfman started but seeing the older man's eyes full of spirit. All right. We were about to start our guild, until all hell broke loose. Naruto said as he walked to a desk taking a small model village. Before placing chess pieces around it, demons, filthy and evil creatures attack our home. We were barely a functional team, but we knew we had to protect the people. He then took out samurai-like toys into the center of the village. We split, half went to battle the enemy before escaping. The others were busy helping the rest of the villagers run to safety. We lost Oda, Genos, and sadly Clarinet when they were doing that. The morale was low as most of the villagers did run but the rest were captured. So it was down to me, Luca, and Okita to at least kill the monsters before dying ourselves. Naruto then pulled out 3 of the toys before dropping them on the ground. We could have survived but I saw 2 little girls about to be captured. I ran and saved one of them, hiding the one I was able to save into a box. Then when trying to save the other girl, I was stabbed about 6 times. My organs were sliced and pierced, I was going to die. Kana went pale to hear how Naruto was so cold about his own death, like he truly didn't care about living, so. Luca, she saw my dying moments and against all better judgment used magic to send her organs and magic into my body. The blonde said, placing a hand on his own stomach, I'm not even really me anymore, just a stitched man made up from parts from a dear friend. Naruto Elfman looked at the boy, man in total shock. His friend sacrificed her life by giving her organs to him, so that he could live. Near the end, I was still close to death, but alive enough to kill the rest of the demons. Afterwards, I learned that my friend Okita survived. But she too was dying from her illness. She spent her last moments with me making graves for the people we lost. The reason I look like this is because you know how people have an affinity for certain magic? Like Gray using ice magic? I came from a family that had darkness as a main affinity, but living with Haru and his friends I gradually was able to shift it to light. What does that mean? Elfman said as he didn't see the point. Yeah, we can use an element that might be suited for us, but we didn't want that. Luca had a light affinity like her parents, but she wanted to use darkness as a way to fix her father's mistakes. Naruto said, walking away from the model to take a small sphere toy to split it. taking another in a different color. Dark then light, light then dark. Do you what happens if you combine magic origins into a single body? Kana's eyes widened, realizing the implications. You mean she made a new magic? Haha, no, she didn't, but it made a complication on my body. He then took both halves of the sphere. Light turning into dark, dark turning into light, constantly as the body forced it to become one or the other. I left to get revenge. Until it was done, my body slowly broke down. 4 years later, I was once again on death's door, on the Queen Desert, trying to find help. Before I kicked the can, she sent me to a place called the Temple of Healing, where it fixed what happened to me. And you've been asleep ever since? Elfman asked. Yes, and this is the result after a few years. Naruto lifted his arms to gesture his body. The magic preferred Luca's than my own, and gave me a more female-like body. Of course, I still have my usual equipment, I just look more feminine. He finished his story as the two took a moment to collect themselves of such a harrowing tale. Naruto Kana looked at him with a forlorn expression. We didn't know, we're sorry you had to go through that hell. No one should. You know, it's funny, a story I read with Luca had this sentence. It gets easier to say it, it's a little funny and sad, and it's true. That fits this moment well. Naruto said with a sweet smile, it's fine after all, I have to live for her. He turned to give them a chilling dark smile. It was towards them they can feel the coldness that he was talking about himself. When she died, I did as well, in a manner of speaking, so it's her life I got to live for. The next day. Are you guys sure you want to stay here another day? The festival isn't having more big stuff like that dance and song from last night. The blonde rave master said as Kana and Elfman looked at him oddly. Although he seemed a bit hurt, it didn't mean that it was hard to understand. He was basically in his 20s but looked like a kid still. Of course they felt odd from listening to his story. Are you kidding? This place is awesome. Kana smiled widely. I mean, come on, you've got it all. Why yeah, our real man don't need words. Elfman tried to smile until Naruto gave a sad grin to them. He leans forward, stretching his back when doing so. Look, it's fine, I told you this because I was going to tell everyone else. I was in a bad spot and Queen Edelgard saved me. It's not that it hampers me. The fact you guys seem worried for me is making me feel bad. Oh, no worries, Naruto. Kana waved off. We're totally cool with it. The young old man simply nodded, although Kana and Elfman winced on how stiff it was. Alright, we'll need to visit the woman who hunts for food around these parts. We might be at the ball at the Church of Memories. And who'd that be? Elfman inquired. It's been a while, I was asleep for so long. Lady Eldegard told me she was here for an exchange program from another land. So I didn't really get all that time to talk to her during my depression, he admits, as the members of Fairy Tail wince once more on his sad reminder. As sorry. I shouldn't have asked? Elfman apologized. No, it's fine. Naruto assured, waving his concerns off. Besides, if I remember correctly, she should still be there. He pointed to a store. Hunter's Blessings. Alright, let's go, he said, entering the store without the other two waiting for him. Hello, is a Miss Petra here? Crash. There was a crash from behind the store as the person seemingly tried to make themselves decent. When they finally opened the storage door, Naruto finally saw the woman in question. She was indeed a beautiful woman, as she had slightly tanned skin and purple hair that flowed down to her back, tied in a ponytail, the tie being really close to her head while the rest flowed down flat while having a couple of thin braids wrapped around her head. Her soft brown eyes complement her hair color, and she has a small purple crescent tattoo under her right eye. Her attire consists of clothes similar to that of desert nomad attire or even hunter. First, she had a yellow choker followed by a green nomadic necklace with a purple scarf. Then came her brown-colored leather bra that did nothing to hide her accentuating beauty of a bust, which was actually a halter top, and a leather shoulder pad on her left, followed by a brown wrist sleeve with gold bracelets. Going downward, she wore a purple sash around her waist that kept her short tan nomadic skirt in place that was decorated by tribal designs, and finishing off her looks was her brown nomadic boots with one of her legs covered by a stocking that went all the way to her leg. Yes, I am are you being the prince of the land? The woman said oddly. I had made the deals to give my meats to you. Bwahahaha. Kana bellowed out laughter. She did not just say that. What is the matter? I prefer giving my delectable meats to Naruto, not to say I would mind him giving me his meats. I would be thinking that his meats would be fine and delicious. Amigyad. Ha 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 ha. Kana at this point was rolling on the floor, laughing so hard while crying tears of joy. This is not happening. Ha ha ha. Hey! Who's laughing at my wife? I'm gonna kill ya! Came the voice of an angry male who came out of the storage room. He was a young male with medium-length brown hair with a hair fringe that's fanned out and his blue eyes. His clothes were simple, as he had a brown tunic with black pants held up by his belt and brown shoes. And right now, he looked pissed. Duck. Naruto tackled Kana as a flying knife came into the room and lodged itself into the wall. I swear this is the third time this week that someone made fun of the way my wife speaks and… Wait, you're that kid I met before I went to sleep, Naruto said, pushing himself off Kana, who was blushing at the fact she was pushed down by him. Huh? The young male looked at Naruto before his eyes widened. Prince Naruto. Naruto stood up and walked up to the man, well, from the humble bread maker of the castle to a married man. You were like what? 15 when I saw you? Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Prince Naruto. The young man apologized, immediately getting on one knee. Forgive my rudeness, I didn't mean to throw that knife at you. It's alright, Naruto said, looking outside. Also keep my name down, most of the kingdom doesn't know I'm… He pointed to himself before pointing to the wanted poster that had his old body frame. This version. Oh, of course, he said as he stood back up. Hey, who is this guy? You know him? Elfman asked. Yeah. This is Kuro. He used to be the castle baker, although I guess he got hitched when I was asleep in the Temple of Healing. Naruto said, the last sentence trailing off on how much time really has gone by to see someone he knew getting married. Yeah? The young man, now known as Kuro, laughed sheepishly. I met Petra when she came to the castle from that exchange program. One thing led to another, and he chuckled shyly, blushing at the memory when he and Petra tied the knot. Well, you get the idea. Well, I'm glad, Naruto said, patting the man's head even though it looked odd as a teen was comforting an older man kindly. Petra looked around and noticed something was off. Why have you come to my place of meats? Everyone's eyes widened at that as Kuro looked at his wife. Honey, remember you tend to say the wrong thing. Let me discuss the deals. It's fine, Naruto waved off, just send the amount of the meat in triple. Apparently, there will be a play for all to watch later. So everyone is going to be hungry when it's done. Alright, Petra and I will get to it. Kuro nodded to the prince. So how much is it? Naruto asked as he took out his wallet. Kuro managed to say, before taking out a piece of paper and pen and started his calculations. After several seconds he was finished. Here, as an apology for almost killing you. That includes the discount, he said, showing the paper to Naruto, but pushed it back to him. No need, it's the queen's money, and we both know that if we give her the discount we'll get hugged by her or Hubert. Now you really want that? I would pay to see Ferdinand do that to ya, Kuro chuckled. Who? Naruto asked as the man shook his head. Right, Koma. Well, anyway, I suggest you go and have fun, the man said, pointing to the festivities outside. I'll make sure all the meat gets to the palace before dinner starts. Naruto joined hands together, making a fist with his right while the left covered it. Thanks. Okay, Petra, let's get to work. We got a big order to fill. Kuro smiled at his wife. Yes, dear. Petra nodded back at her husband before the two went to the back of the store to get the orders ready. So what now? Elfman asked Naruto. Should we head back? I believe he stated before he saw something in his eyes, a shiny blonde of hair passing by. He turned to see someone walking down the street, then rushed away, pushing Elfman aside to rush forward. Naruto, where are you going? Kana called out, but to no avail as the boy ignored her question. What he saw, it couldn't be possible. There was no way. But he had to make sure, even if it meant more pain, just the thought. Lord Naruto. My lord, are you okay? Naruto, slow down. He ignored all the voices of the townspeople and his friends as he kept running. They felt like they were on fire, but he didn't care. He had to see for himself with his own eyes. Even if they deceived him, he needed to know. Soon he stopped, his eyes tearing up as he saw what he thought he saw. Naruto, what's the matter? Oh my, Kana said, looking at what he saw. It was Luka, a stone life-size version of the girl who stood tall holding a flag in her left hand, with the symbol of the kingdom, while her left held a sinister-looking blade, jet black and vicious. Next to her was Naruto, the one more manly one. The blade that his father used, made from gray stone, was stabbed into the ground as his hands rested on the pommel of the blade. A plaque stood before them, in honor of the princess who fell to demons, Lady Luca Raregroove. May the darkness comfort her. The young man looked at the blade the statue held, Luca's statue, and frowned. Luca. That's Luca? Elfman managed to say. Yes, it is, Naruto muttered slowly. Kana and Elfman looked at each other, then back to Naruto. They then nodded at each other before walking up next to him, clapped their hands together and bowed down for a simple prayer for Luca's soul to find peace. What are you, Miss Luca? If you hear us, please know that we will make Naruto happy in our guild. Please watch him from afar. Kana said gently, hoping her words would be heard. Also sorry if you like Naruto, but I will hit that sorry again. The blonde nearly sniffled at the kind gesture before smiling. Come on, the castle should be ready. I really hate this, Kana said as two maids, both with pink and blue hair colors, standing in her way. I will not wear a dress. Sorry, but you must or not attend the ball. The first maid had short icy blue hair bangs on the side that fell to the bottom of her face and has a small ponytail in the back. She wore a black maid outfit with a frilly collar and a frilly maid's hat on top and wore black leggings and black shoes. The second maid wore a black maid outfit with a frilly collar and a frilly maid's hat on top and wore black leggings and black shoes like the first. But her hair was light pink and had a long ponytail. Her hair fringe was neatly cut in a straight line and her bangs on the side were long and cut straight even as well. Or yes I am, Kana said, pushing the girls before she looked down on why she couldn't know. Her feet were encased in ice, dress or no go. Why you? Should I freeze your entire body until you learned your lesson about proper etiquette? The blue-haired girl frowned with disapproval. Flora, you don't need to go that far. The light pink-haired maid stuttered timidly. Felicia, this is for Lord Naruto. We promised the queen to let this happen if she tries to. She stopped when she felt a fabric on her head, picking it up and revealing it to be a bikini top. Wah! And Felicia pouted in jealousy of how big Kana's tatas were. It's not fair. Let's do it. We're still talking about dressing her up, right? The pink-haired maid asked the other one with a worried look. Manly, Elfman said, flexing before the suit he wore suddenly shredded from his muscles stretching out too much. Oops. Be glad that we have a spare. Jacob sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. For like the 10th time. Try not to flex if needed, a red-haired girl said desperately, not trying to stab the man in his eyes with her thread and needle as she quickly sewed the clothing onto him again. I just learned how to sew and I have to work on the gigantic freak. Oh, no need to furrow that brow of yours, dear. A purple-haired woman cooed. She was indeed a beauty with her long wavy purple hair that fell to her back, and she also had quite the bust to show off more of that beauty. You just have to be patient, just like I taught you. Says the girl who takes measurements of Naruto when he sleeps, the red-haired woman declared before finishing the project. Done. I had to use steel thread, so you flex you die. Yes ma'am. My, someone's stiff. The purple-haired woman giggled. Come on, the ball is about to start. Also, do try to make sure unfavorable women to Naruto stay away from Mr. Elfman. This party might be one of those, knowing the queen is trying to make her son happy. Jacob declared in a low whisper, escorting the larger man to where the party was being held, the main entrance, and the queen's throne room. I got it. No need to tell me twice, the red-haired girl said. All right, that's the last of the meat, Petra. Kuro nodded in satisfaction after he and his wife finished the last delivery. The married pair looked to see Naruto while both smiled at his attire. Unlike everyone else, including the two, Naruto didn't wear a suit or anything too formal. His attire consists of a black turtleneck shirt with a black vest that was unzipped halfway by a golden zipper, followed by a long white coat with gold highlights that had a tailcoat at the end of it, wearing black pants, and gray boots with gold tips. Noticing their looks, the young man gazed down on his clothes with a slight blush. Is it weird? I usually wear that old-school suit and tie, so I thought something informal was better. I think it is rather dashing, Petra commented. Yeah, totally works. Kuro nodded in approval with a thumbs up. Thanks, the young old man said with a sigh. To think, I'm an old man and I still act like I'm afraid of these things. Relax. You got nothing to worry about. Kuro waved off. It's just a party. Try to play it cool, and you'll be fine. Wait, I am believing this was to find one soulmate for them, MH. The purple-haired woman's mouth was stuffed with a meat stuffing in a puff pastry as her husband blushed, almost letting the cat out of the bag. No, honey, that's something else completely different, Kuro said weakly. What did she say? Naruto blinked. Nothing, it's totally nothing. Kuro laughed forcefully, before pushing Petra along. Enjoy the party. Yes, Naruto said, walking away to see his two guildmates standing. His eyes looked over to see the only female fairy tale member in the building and blushed at the sight. She was wearing a dark maroon dress that had a fluffy pink waist, and she had dark maroon arm warmers to accompany that. Kana smiled at that cute stunned look on the T. Now it was her turn to look a bit stunned. Naruto parroted her word. The both of them didn't know what to say. They were too stunned to see each other look so good. Elfman took a step back and pointed at the food. Going to get food. Naruto and Kana kept staring at each other before the boy was the first to speak. Sorry. You look great. He tried to compliment. Why you two, 'cause I can't call you a cutie, huh? She said, looking away, scratching her cheek with a finger. Naruto shook his head. I am technically 25-ish, he mumbled under his breath, so please don't look at me like someone different. What are you talking about? You're still you, Kana pointed out. No, you and Elfman have been treating me like I'm something odd, he mentioned, looking hurt as the young man looked down. I'm not different. Well, Fairy Tail does have a bunch of oddballs, but you're still one of us, Kana said. Never mind, I guess you don't get it. Naruto said, walking away from the girl, coldly making her look at him in confusion. Wait, Kana said, grabbing his wrist, turning him around. I don't really do emotional things well. I still have some issues to work out, but I want you to know. She brought her hands together to fiddle her fingers. I want to know you better, because I can understand how it is to lose someone you love. You have? Kana nodded. My mother, she was the sweetest woman in the world, raising me by herself no less. She then looked down. But my father, he mostly wasn't around growing up, mainly because of the amount of jobs he had to take. I can relate, Naruto darkly muttered, remembering the family he had before Haru saved him. She leaned towards his side, shocking him to see a genuine look of kindness on her face, no teasing or flirty nature. It made his heart skip for a moment. So I am sorry for earlier, please let's start out as proper guildmates. Naruto didn't realize, but for the first time besides Luca, Edelgard, and his new family, he didn't feel ill or scared being this close to a woman. He only smiled brightly at hearing her sincere words. Alright then, let's. Edelgard smiled as she watched many women talking to Naruto from a healthy space between him and them, along with only 2 or 3 girls at max. Although that new girl Kana being near him made the queen sigh. Hubert, coming from her shadow, chuckled, trying to get the prince hitched once more? His creepy and dark laughter only made the queen give her own featherly light giggling to his question. It is a mother's duty to secure her child's future, but none of the girls I have chosen seem to fit his wants. Camilla for a doting sister, Hinoka for a protective sister, and so many others. Even our own staff was also tossed into the ring. Quite so. Hubert agreed as he looked to Kana. Are you certain of this one, though? A woman who is kind of a floozy is worrying, but if she does marry Naruto, that is fine. I'll make sure to send many mistresses if the marriage goes awry and dispose of the drunkard in secret. The Queen of Rare Groove started with a sigh, resting her cheek on her hand. I already got the poison secured, The man started off with a smile before noticing something. Madam, we did summon most of the town, not including the possible marriages for Naruto, but I think we have an intruder. What? Edelgard gasped. You're certain? I'm never wrong, Your Majesty, Hubert said. Shall I have Casper and Lindart dispose of our unwelcome guest? No, if I am the target, let my son enjoy his time, she said, leaning back into the seat. I do have little time, so what if it comes early? I entrust everything to the 3 councils and my son, Hubert, she said, lowering her head in a soft tone as her lips slowly curled upwards to know she had accepted her fate. So Lord Naruto, are you staying for good? A young woman wearing a kimono asked, her bright pink dress blue obi around it with blue cherry blossoms on it. It fit well with her long blonde hair. The young man shook his head as he moved back a bit when another girl came into the group. Despite knowing all the citizens knowing his fear, he still couldn't help but slightly afraid, even though both the girls themselves were nice enough to give him space, and that fact he had guards to protect him if someone did try to do unsavory things to him. Sadly no, Hannah, I am staying in Fiori for a rather long time. I shall make trips here as it does have the only place for my favorite foods. Won't you come back? A tall and stern-looking woman asked, her hair done in a ponytail tied by a white ribbon. She wore a kimono as well, orange in color but with flame patterns on her sleeves and a red obi holding in place. I'll visit every now and then, Kajiro. Naruto smiled a bit. Just make sure Saizo doesn't try to kill me when I do. The girls bowed respectfully as they left, enjoying the party as Kana whistled, nudging his stomach. Well, seems I got some competition. Huh? Naruto raised an eyebrow. Those girls got their eye on you. I better not lose to them. Kana grinned widely. Of course they have their eye on me. Kajiro-san was my bodyguard when I used to stay here, and Hana was Luca's, Naruto said before looking at Kana's face, which only had a "Are you serious" look. What? She just walked away, without giving a silly smile at his dense look. What? Naruto looked absolutely confused. What did I say? So these parties happen often? Elfman asked. Huh? Naruto snapped out of his stupor before looking at the manly man. I am sorry, what did you say? Do these festivals happen often? The large man said, pointing to the large festivities. Naruto shrugged. Depends. Queen Rave Groove only allows the commoners to the castle when I arrive or the sacred holidays happen. The boy stated as he smiled. This one is the few holidays, when my father, Haru Glory, and Lucia Rave Groove finally became allies and buried their past when they meet again. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Elfman shrugged. By the way, what's with Kana? She looked upset with you. I dunno, man. Something about girls having their eye on me. He then looked at the tan man with hopeful eyes. You know what she meant? How the hell would I know? Elfman shrugged again. Everyone soon the voices of the main hallway silenced when Hubert spoke. Our queen has words to speak. Edelgard stood up from her throne as she looked at each and every one of them. Everyone, I thank you all for coming. As today marks the anniversary of the betterment of the kingdom when my husband and I ended our feud with the Rave Master, Haru Glory. Now, we are the envy of many continents, Fiori, Symphonia, and the elemental nations," she said, slightly ashamed when noticing Naruto's painful gaze. "But as much as I would like to take credit," she ended that sentence with a light humorous tone, "it was thanks to both my deceased daughter Luca and my son in all but blood, who inspired us to also lead better lives. So Naruto, rare groove glory, stand up and stand beside me," she announced as everyone turned to Naruto, all warm smiles and kind eyes that still made him blush immensely. Nervously, the young boy slowly walked over to his mother, all eyes staring at him, to the point he was sweating bullets. Eventually, he stood next to his mother, and all eyes were still on him. "Naruto, sorry for this," Edelgard stated before suddenly speaking once more. "As you know, I named him my sole heir. So any woman who earns his heart is allowed to marry him." "Yeah!" Naruto screamed out girlishly, astonished at the audacity of his mother's words. "I'm sorry, Naruto," she apologized sheepishly, clasping her hands together. "I know you could never replace Luca, but she wanted you to fall in love once more," she said before looking at the castle. "Ahem, with that out of the way, we shall then end the festival with the play from the Battle of Twilight." As the play was being set up, Kana watched Naruto running back and forth, then up the walls and ceiling, clutching his head. What is mother thinking? He groaned out in despair. Why is she doing this to me? Oh gods, what's gonna happen to me? You don't like to get married? She asked, also stunned at this development. Naruto surprisingly nodded. I do, that was my biggest dream, to have a nice family. Even back then. Back then? Elfman wondered. I was kinda girlish about my dreams. I blame my Aunt Julia and Mother, Ellie, Naruto repeatedly said. But now, I might be well over the age for marriage in terms of royalty, but most of these girls were like kids when I saw them before entering my sleep. Oh right, you're 20-something years old. The manly man remembered. Right, most royalty wed at 15. If I didn't fall in that coma, no doubt Mother would have done the same thing back then, Naruto said slowly, realizing that it was going to happen eventually. Wait, see Kana, you said we're guildmates, right? Naruto blushed as he could barely look at Kana, who also started to blush at his innocent look. Why yeah? Kana said as her heart raced faster and faster. Do you think we're more than that? Naruto questioned. Best day of her life. She's what? Edelgard screamed out, with Hubert and Jacob holding in place, while holding a one-line axe in her arms. Pregnant, Naruto stuttered as Kana also turned red as she nodded. Quick recap, Naruto asked Kana to pretend to be his lover who is bearing his child. That part added by Elfman. My lady, the pregnant part is untrue, Hubert stated as the woman seemed to calm somewhat. How do you know that? Edelgard said. He pulled her to the side and whispered into her ear. While dressing Camilla P. No hormones, only a few selected words were heard as Kana felt her eyebrow twitch. Did he really check her pee to see if she wasn't going at it with Naruto as a precaution? I see, the queen said, but shocked her head. Alright, so let's. But they are indeed a couple. Hubert smiled and he winked at Naruto and Kana, a scary sight to the Fiori woman but comforting one for Naruto. They hold hands, gaze into their eyes passionately. I believe Prince Naruto has home in Fiori for the time. Edelgard looked worried before nodding. Alright, you two stay, Hubert entertained Elfman. The advisor only gave a weary nod, as Elfman lifted him like driftwood. Yosh, let's eat, he said, running through the wall, as Jacob ran his hand over his face when seeing the huge hole in the shape of Elfman lifting Hubert. I'll fix it. It left the three alone until Naruto's sharp glare made the queen toss her weapon to the other side of the room. Do you love each other? As all the women asked, a soft look came into her face. Yes, Naruto nodded softly. Are you sure? Yes. Alright, I give you my blessing. The woman hugged her son tightly. Don't be afraid, I would always accept your lovers if you truly love them. Kana dear, let me hug to let you in the family. Oh, you don't really have to. Come here. Edelgard gave no room for Kana to protest as she hugged her. You break his heart, and you'll break, she whispered coldly, so much that Kana swore her blood had almost turned into slush. UMG, glad to be part of the family. Kana laughed nervously. Kana. Alright, so kiss each other and let's go. Edelgard claps her hands. I want to see my baby finally kiss his beloved. What? The two said, but the earnest face she had on made them realize she really bought it. Go on, you two. Kiss. Edelgard encouraged them, eyes sparkling at the thought her son will finally get over his fear. Well? Honey? Shall we? Kana blushed with a smile at Naruto. Naruto nodded, closing his eyes while shaking violently, or would have if he didn't suppress his fear. He felt Kana stepping right in front of him. He felt her hands touching them and felt their hands on him. They're not here, he prayed quietly, feeling scared until he heard a voice. It's okay, it was Kana whispering softly, soothing his fear, unknowingly calming his heart. and he felt his lips touching warm, soft objects. His shivering became pleasant. Of all the times this action happening to him was nice. He felt an odd urge to cling on to that feeling and awkwardly moved one of his hands to Kana's waist and the other on the back of her head, deepening the kiss, as Kana felt some heat starting to crawl up her cheeks. Okay, that's enough, Edelgard said, pushing the two away. Keep it simple. Kana coughs into her hand, slightly embarrassed that she got into the kiss when they were supposed to just be pretend lovers, although she would be lying if she didn't enjoy the hell out of that moment. Why right, she dumbly said, trying to regain her bearings. Alright, come with me, I have to get you and Naruto something for the play. Wait, what? Kana got out as Edelgard dragged her and Naruto along. Hold on, slow down. Naruto stood there moving a single finger to trace his lips, before a shaky smile came into his face. She smelled so nice, like nice rose with hints of cinnamon and vanilla still sticking to his nose. He can still feel her body heat and gentle voice. The young never felt this feeling as the times he kiss. Thump. Naruto felt his body hurt, and his stomach curled and twisted to forms that it was never supposed to do. He opened his eyes and that was the nail in the coffin. He saw them, all of his former family, staring at him like some kind of meat. Naruto gulped in fear. This was not good at all. It was at this moment that the contents of his stomach spilled out. Hubert. Naruto screamed out in pain, and like magic the man appeared from the shadows with a look of relief. Thank you, Lord Naruto, that muscle brain Naruto. The man screamed, rushing forward when watching the young man clutching his stomach, then noticed the stain of vomit on the floor. Don't worry, he said. A dark aura came from his hand and placed on the blonde's head. Think about them and I shall remove them. That's not. Try. He orders, not caring if he loses his job. He swore an oath to both his queen and princess to care for Naruto as he would for them. He once hated that, but now he can't see him other than a part of their family. Naruto whimpered to think about them, but soon they faded like a bad dream. Hey, are you better? The man said as the younger rave master stood up shakingly. I need mouthwash, he weakly chuckled. Ah, so bad. The sinister-looking man placed a hand on the teen's shoulder. Wait, are you sure you can go back there? I can say to Lady Edelgard you ate something wrong. No, it's fine, it's totally fine, Naruto waved off. Just remembered that part of my life. But when he remembered Kana and what he did made the pain slowly fade faster. Kana's eyes widened as she saw Naruto sitting on a throne as dozens of people were bowing to him, his serious yet regal-looking Naruto smiling, dashing to her beside him wearing a lovely dress made for a queen. When the queen took her away, before threatening the drinker to not have sex with Naruto until they are off-a-kale married, told her to sit with Naruto in the throne when the play is starting, and now most of the girls are glaring at her for just standing next to him. She was both happy and scared. She leans to Naruto. What's this play about? Hoping to lessen the odd tense mood as Elfman caught her eye waving from the table with a blue-haired man trying to out-eat him when the food arrived. I don't know, usual on the Day of Unity, that's why we call this little festival. Naruto reminded the girl the reason for this day, it's about opposites becoming friends. Oh well, if anything it should be interesting. Kana said. It's starting. Naruto said as many people from the entrance made way for numerous handsome and beautiful people. He looked as Hubert as the man spoke. I am pleased to announce the best of the acting arts of the kingdom. The man lifted his hand as a single woman came into the limelight, wearing a blue dress with a blue cape that had the rave groove symbol. Hey, isn't that Naruto? Stared at the girl who gave a small wave to him and his lover. You know her? Kana asked. Greetings to all, I am Dorothea, she announced, bowing to all the audience around her. I was pleased to hear that I was told to represent this year's play. And I choose one that is close, in honor of our queen's son coming to visit. I have chosen an epic that is true and recent. And I sincerely hope you all enjoy it. The young woman took a few steps back as another male came from behind with spiky hair but wore a black jacket with white crosses on them, also donning long black pants with 2 chains on the sides of the pants legs. Lady Luca. Oh no, Naruto's voice went from exciting to scared in less than a moment. Naruto? Kana looked at her friend, worried. What's wrong? Dorothea's eyes became misty. Naruto, please don't make this harder than it needs to be. The young swordsman places a hand over his face. It's the day I kidnapped Luca from her kingdom. You what? Kana looked shocked from the revelation. You kidnapped her? Why? Just watch, Naruto cried, waterfall tears as the play will show his 2 members of Fairy Tail his indecent past. I want to get in. Kushina yelled at the guards. My friend is in there. I'm sorry, ma'am, but there's a play in progress, and it must not be interrupted. One of the guards answered. It wasn't the best night for Kushina. She decided to leave the boat and swim back to the country, although it was technically her walking for about an hour. Thank Kami for chakra walking, to spend the night fighting desert snakes, worms, and scorpions the size of freaking semi-experienced summonings back home. Alright, she dejectedly sighed, walking away before running at full burst. Lemion. she cried out as the guards caught her before she got into the entrance. Come in. Mifri and de Samofan seemed angry at him. Ma'am, you're not allowed in, the second guard shouted. Wait, until the performance has ended. Then you can go in, the first one grunted, as they struggled to hold her back. Just how strong was she? I thought the festival was open to all, she complained as another guard suddenly dogpiled them. Oof. Watch the hair, she yelled in anger when she felt her hair getting dirty on the floor. Only the street festival, the castle is only for the residents of the kingdom, another knight said, diving into the pile. So you're not allowed in here, a fifth added, adding into the pile. Okay. I think you guys are not really taking this seriously, Kusha groans when the weight was starting to get to her. Wait, what's the quickest way to get into jail there? Slapping a knight, one of them said before Kusha smirked. Kana nearly laughed when she understood why Naruto was so ashamed of this play. Lady Luca, I can't bear the thought of leaving you again, the actor playing as Naruto said, pulling out a fake 10 Commandments off his back and threw it on the floor. I would even leave my future as Rave Master if it means running away with you. Dorothea masterfully made her cheeks flare up at the confession of the actor. Naruto, she started until the male actor pulled her hands into his. Will you run away with me? He said with a gentle smile to match the mood of the sweet scene. Scene, the woman said as the whole castle ground was filled with light applause. The only reason it wasn't loud as many were crying. Naruto, please come down and let us take a bow with you, she asked as Naruto shook his head. I'm sorry, I can't do it, Naruto said, still shaking his head furiously as more tears came down his eyes. Please? The male actor said, it wouldn't be right for us to bow if the muse didn't seem to be happy with our performance. Naruto sighed as he nodded. Alright, he turned to see Kana follow him. You don't. It's okay. I'll stay with you, Kana assured the boy. The two stood next to Dorothea and the male actor. We hope you, the woman stood when her eyes caught the other actors rushing toward her and Kana. What are you ga? She shouted when they violently pushed her away, but Kana was able to dodge in time. Elfman. The man looked at the scene with a turkey leg bone inside his mouth. Translation, man. Running at top speed as the actors slammed their hands into the floor as back-colored seals started to float up in a 10 by 10 foot cube. Dark Ecrature. They all shouted as the cube filled with seals vanished. What the hell? Naruto shouted in surprise as he looked around, seeing that he, Kana, and Elfman were now trapped. Naruto! Edelgard screamed as her right hand produced a dark red circle with an odd symbol in the middle. Requip. Aimer. The circle soon summoned an axe in the oddest design. The whole weapon seems to be made entirely out of bones. The front part seems to be some kind of dorsal fin, while the back attached to the front was a small part to help connect to it, and the handle. The back of that bone attachment was 4 spikes, and the handle seemed to be thick as the woman's hand almost didn't fit by a few centimeters. Raging storm. The woman spun her body as the weapon was burning with flames, only to be flung back into her throne when needing the invisible cube. Ack. She spat out blood as the actors smiled. That's 3 sets of rules to break through. Dark Ecrature, with 3 users, is something that only a gifted genius can break through, the male actor said as he took off his robes, leaving him in his pants, but Naruto's eyes widened at the sight on his chest. Soon the other 2 actors also took off their costumes, showing 2 women. Any emotion besides silent rage was suppressed, and in his eyes, before a sickening grin stretched throughout his face. It was a glorious feeling to re-experience. The fact that he can get high off that emotion was making him gain his old face. As the one thing he hated was here, and the fact they had that thing on their chest. His lips practically enjoy saying 2 words. Zerif demons. Wow, a knight said with his helmet all dented and partially destroyed. I never saw a woman bitch slap all the knights just to get thrown in jail. Yeah, wow. The knight beside him dragging a rope-bound Kushina said, at least you have the helmet. I got my teeth knocked out. Ihihei. The red-haired woman chuckled at the reminder of her slap. Wait, where are you going? She questioned as the knight started to leave. Hello. We got more troubling issues, woman. The Queen Rare Groove and her son are in danger. Soon Kushina was all alone before rolling her eyes. Sure, a queen gets hurt and wait, Rare Groove. That's my hot white-haired booty call, friend. She suddenly stood up and hopped towards the castle. Don't worry, Emma coming. She cried out in hopes to fix her friendship and find out why she was angry. But soon stopped as she saw one thing in front of her stairs. God damn it. Chapter end. What if Naruto hates his mother? Fairy tale. And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoyed this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.